The bright moon hung high, casting a pale glow over the land, and you, Bai Shuang, lay prostrate on the ground, covered in blood, wounds deep enough to reveal bone. Your clothes were long soaked in blood. You raised your head, staring at Lin Qing before you with utter disbelief. She was once your closest confidant, your dearest friend. Now she held the green vine whip you had gifted her, a venomous smile playing on her lips.
Lin Qing, why did you harm me?
You asked with difficulty. She sneered down at you, her eyes filled with disgust and mockery.
Because you're not worthy.
Not worthy? You're stunned, your heart filled with confusion. You grew up together and she always protected you. Why the sudden hostility? Her gaze pierces your heart like a knife. Every word she says feels like a denial of your very existence.
Bai Shuang, you're such a loser, utterly stupid.
Her voice was icy and piercing, as if to completely crush you. She leaned down, pinched your face, her eyes filled with jealousy and resentment.
You always put on this delicate act. It's disgusting.
Her dagger slashes across your face, the deep wound sending waves of pain that nearly make you faint. But she doesn't stop, driving the dagger toward your heart, carving out your lifeblood. She even forces a poison pill into your mouth. Too weak to resist, you can only watch helplessly as she kicks you into the hollow of the tree, sealing the entrance. Her triumphant laughter fades into the distance. The tree hollow is bottomless. You crash to the depths, racked with pain as your consciousness dims. The poison takes hold, your skin rotting away as life slowly drains from you. No, I won't accept this, you roar inwardly, recalling the soul-summoning art your master taught you. It's your only hope for survival. Gritting your teeth, you recite the incantation.
With my bones as the bridge, summon the Netherwalker, mightiest across all realms, with my body as the vessel. First vow, slay my foes. Second vow, revive my master. Third vow, find my blood kin.
As the incantation ends, your body instantly loses all strength, blood gushes out, and consciousness completely fades away. Yet, in the darkness, a faint emerald glow suddenly appears, enveloping your body. The festering skin begins to heal, blood returns to your veins, and the cold corpse gradually regains warmth.
Whew!
You suddenly open your eyes, reborn, yet darkness still surrounds you. The pain in your body leaving you nearly immobile, a splitting headache strikes as a flood of memories rushes into your mind. At last, you understand your true identity, the eldest daughter of the Bai family, the foremost noble house in the Qinglu region of the Eastern Spirit Realm. Your mother fled the family with you in her youth, only to be rescued by your master, Xuan Ying. You lived in a small village, and after your mother disappeared, you alone cared for your unconscious master. Struggling to survive, Lin Qing was your only friend, and you trusted her without reservation. You even shared the spirit pills, magical artifacts, and spells your master left you with her. Yet she betrayed you, tortured and killed you, stole your tokens and sought to usurp everything that was yours.
Lin Qing!
You grit your teeth, touching the scars on your face, your heart filled with resentment. The original host's pain and anger merge with your soul, and you swear to seek justice for her. At that moment, you notice curse markings appearing on your left arm and collarbone, the price of the soul-summoning art. You whisper softly,
Even without the shackles of talismans, I would still take care of them for you. Ungrateful wretches like them don't deserve to live in this world.
Suddenly, a dark green scorpion-shaped jade hairpin appears on your head, and it actually starts speaking. Yes, yes, kill them all. This poor little girl has suffered too much. You exclaimed in surprise.
Xiao Green, you're here too.
So this is your Gu King in the apocalyptic era. It devours toxins, converts spiritual energy, and aids your cultivation. It has been reborn alongside you. Of course. Otherwise you'd have been poisoned to death. Rebirth wouldn't have helped. Little Green responded proudly. You gently patted it as a reward. Just as you were communicating with Little Green, a tremendous suction force suddenly attacked from behind. Before you could react, you were pulled away by this force. An icy sensation instantly gripped your wrist, followed by something cold coiling around your entire body. It sank its teeth into your neck and began sucking your blood. You shuddered violently, alarms blaring in your mind. What the hell is this thing? You struggled desperately but found yourself utterly powerless to resist. You're ensnared by the monster, unable to move as it voraciously drains your blood. You bite your lip, attempting to form a blood contract, hoping to subdue it with an equal beast-taming pact. But the tactic fails utterly. Your heart sinks. This creature is either a high-tier spirit beast or not a beast at all, but a human. And not just any human, but a spirit emperor level 1. Just as you're at your wit's end, Xiao Lu transforms into a vibrant green scorpion. It stings the monster's tentacle fiercely and threatens it. If you dare to suck Xiaoshuang's blood, I'll drain you dry. Yet the monster remained unmoved, continuing to drain your blood. Your face darkened with rage. How could an esteemed emperor be reduced to such a pitiful state? But you knew that forcibly activating high-level spells would only deplete your spiritual energy and lead to death, making it impossible to repel the creature. At this critical moment, you noticed something peculiar. The monster was sucking your blood, while Little Green absorbed the monster's spiritual energy and transferred it back to you. An eerie energy cycle had formed. Seizing the opportunity, you coldly commanded Little Green.
Cast the Heart-Binding Curse.
Heart Link Curse is the killer's ultimate move. It requires resonance between both hearts to take effect. Once cast, the master curse can forcibly control the subordinate curse. It binds you to share life and death, yet you remain free from its constraints. Xiaolu swiftly completed the command, and you feel a faint wriggling inside your body, pulling at the monster's body. Sure enough, the monster stopped sucking blood. You smirk coldly and command it.
Get down!
The monster immediately obeyed, crawling off you obediently. But at that moment, you suddenly felt a surge of heat flowing from your heart throughout your body. Finally, it reached the depths of your consciousness. Then, with a few crack sounds, your first seal unexpectedly shattered. You exclaimed in delight,
I leveled up!
Little Green was also extremely excited, as its jade sword form underwent an upgrade as well. Emitting an eerie green glow, patterns even emerged on the scorpion's abdomen. You were both amazed and puzzled. How could it level up while being drained of blood? Could it be because of this monster? Little Green chirped excitedly. Xiaoshuang, I'll drain it dry. You'll soon break the seal, and I can return to my ultimate form. You coldly interrupted.
Don't get carried away! Our level is too low. If we truly drain it, we won't be able to control it and will die instantly.
Xiaolu immediately fell silent in the darkness. At last, you saw the true face of the monster. It was no monster at all but a child of 7 or 8, with silver hair cascading over its shoulders. Pale cold skin, long eyelashes, and phoenix eyes devoid of innocence, it instead exuded an air of aloof detachment. Like an immortal child from a painting, it was ethereal, yet eerie. You cautiously asked,
Little boy, why are you here? Is there anyone else with you?
He remained silent, only blinking his eyes. Suppressing your impatience, you continued asking,
Why did you bite me? Why drink my blood?
He remained silent. You got angry and commanded coldly,
I order you to answer me.
The primary curse commands, the secondary curse must obey. He opened his robe, revealing a black mark on his chest that seemed to be creeping upward. He walked over, took your hand, and licked the blood from it. The black mark actually faded slightly. So he's mute. Xiao Green whispered in your ear, Xiaoshuang, this poison is eerie, it feeds on life force. Eventually, it will consume him. It seems your blood can alleviate his poison. You frowned and asked,
Is this poison curable?
Xiaolu said proudly. Of course we can, but our current level is too low. The most direct way is to temporarily suppress your blood. No wonder he wanted to suck your blood. Xiaolu got excited again. Xiaoshuang, his spiritual power can help you break the seal. Take him with you so I can level up faster. You coldly warn it.
Don't think I don't know what you're up to. Control your cravings or you'll suffer the consequences.
Xiaolu didn't dare to speak further. Looking at this little mute, you feel a pang of pity. He appears dazed and foolish, remembering nothing. He might be a medicine puppet or poison puppet raised by someone. You say coldly to him, Little one, from now on you'll follow me.
When I regain my strength, I will surely find the one who harmed you, and have Xiaolu plant a poison 100 times more painful on them.
Though he neither nodded nor shook his head, he silently took the luminescent stone and walked ahead, seemingly guiding your way. At that moment, a deafening boom erupted. The giant tree you were hiding in was blasted apart, and an overwhelming surge of spiritual energy flooded the surroundings. The spirit herb forest was lush with spiritual plants, its thriving scenery leaving you awestruck. You took a deep breath of the rich spiritual energy, and a blazing fire of determination to fight ignited within you. In your past life, cultivation was an arduous struggle, but now, in this golden age, your resolve to grow stronger has never burned fiercer. You close your eyes, take a deep breath, and begin to focus your energy, attempting to enter your consciousness sea. The consciousness sea is a tranquil lake, its surface as calm as a mirror. You try to channel your spiritual energy, causing slight ripples on the water's surface, but nothing more. You know the seal is hidden behind the mist shrouded in vapor, but you're clueless about how to disperse it. Just then, Xiaolu suddenly enters your consciousness sea as well. You're startled apparently. The power of the Heartlink spell allows him to enter your consciousness sea freely, and you didn't even notice. You feel somewhat annoyed but have to admit your current cultivation level is too low to stop him. Xiao Lu remains as cold as ever, wordlessly waving his hand to disperse the mist with a gust of wind. As the mist clears, you see intricate formations and a massive chain of seals. The chain already has some cracks. Without a word, Xiao Yin materializes a sharp sword and leaps into the formation.
Xiao Shuang, your injuries have all healed.
As the first seal collapses, you instantly feel a surge of immense spiritual energy flooding into your body, and your consciousness sea ripples for the first time. You sense your cultivation rapidly advancing, breaking through from having no cultivation at all directly to the peak of the spirit practitioner realm, even approaching the spirit master level. Your body, battered and bruised from last night's torment, is also healing rapidly. You greedily absorb the spiritual energy from the world around you, as if you've never craved power so desperately before. However, just as you're immersed in the joy of newfound power, Little Yin suddenly collapses into your arms with a thud. His face is pale, his spiritual energy nearly depleted. You look down at him, feeling a mix of complex emotions. He drank your blood, yet he also helped you break the seal. Is this what they call repaying kindness with kindness? You gently probe and find him as fragile as a snowflake, on the verge of vanishing at any moment. A medicine person, after all, doesn't live long. You sigh inwardly, wondering which hell he managed to escape from. At this moment, your spirit beast, Little Green, suddenly grows restless. As if it intends to harm Little Yin, you immediately shout to stop it and,
Xiao, be nice to Xiao Yin. This child has suffered so much.
Xiao Lu reluctantly retracted her tail, muttering, Xiao Yin, defending him already. Ignoring its complaints, you focus on examining the black mark on Little Silver's chest, only to find it slowly spreading. After considerable effort, you manage to suppress it temporarily, silently resolving to improve your strength as soon as possible. Just then, Little Green suddenly alerts you with a warning. What was that sound? Holding Little Yin in your arms, you lightly leap onto the treetop, and notice the surrounding spirit birds scattering in panic. Even the jade squirrels are hiding in tree holes in groups. Although these low-level spirit beasts aren't strong in attack, their sense of danger is extremely sharp. You immediately realize that something significant must be about to happen. You carefully place Little Yin in a safe spot, setting up a simple protective formation with branches and poison. Then go alone to investigate. Sure enough, before long you see several groups of people entering the forest from different directions. Their attire varies, clearly not from the same group. Yet they subtly form an encirclement around the spirit beast. As you're engrossed in watching, you suddenly hear a familiar name, Xuan Ying. That's your master. You immediately prick up your ears, listening carefully to their conversation.
Li Feng, we are all from noble families. You've been taking all the spoils from beast hunting every time. Isn't that a bit too much? Or do you think joining the Longevity Pavilion makes you superior to everyone else?
A young master dressed in purple sneered sarcastically.
Big brother is absolutely right.
The purple-clad woman next to her chimed in, her tone brimming with arrogance.
Since the disappearance of Elder Xuan Ying, your Everlife Pavilion has been hunting spirit beasts everywhere, even trying to monopolize spiritual herbs and medicines. What a pity. Even so, you still can't refine supreme-grade elixirs that break through the spirit rank.
Hearing this, your heart sinks abruptly. The master is missing. Suppressing your shock, you continue listening.
Brother Li, don't be angry. Bai Zhou and Bai Ru are just.
A man named Jiang Chuan tried to mediate, but was coldly interrupted by Li Feng.
Eldest young Master Bai, second Miss Bai. Hunting beasts has always been about skill. If you're outmatched, don't make excuses.
Bai Zhou, Bai Ru, your heart skips a beat. Aren't these members of the Bai family? As you continue listening, you're shocked to discover they're actually talking about you, the Bai family's eldest daughter who was cast away. To your greater surprise, you learn you have a fiancé arranged by your parents before birth, and your dear sister Bai Ru seems to have taken a liking to him. You let out a cold laugh, thinking to yourself, so the Bai family isn't as harmonious as it seems. After Lin Qing returns, there'll surely be quite a spectacle. Just then, the red-robed young master Yan Li speaks up.
Fellow cultivators, you are all from noble families of the Qingwu domain. Yan Li hails from the Flame domain and has no interest in your disputes. I ask only one thing. Shall we proceed with the beast hunt tonight, or not? Hunt!
Li Feng answered without hesitation, his eyes full of defiance.
Of course.
Bai Ru, unwilling to be outdone, was clearly provoked. At Yan Li's command, the battle erupted instantly. The spirit beasts and the human forces clashed into a chaotic melee. Standing on the tree, you watched coldly, and soon noticed something amiss. The group in red, after instigating the fight, was quietly retreating to the edge of the battlefield. Narrowing your eyes, you thought to yourself, this person is quite interesting. Standing at the edge of the spirit herb forest, The sight before you ignites a burning rage in your heart. Those so-called cultivators, for the sake of alchemy and medicinal ingredients, mercilessly slaughter the spirit beasts. You know these spirit beasts are the guardians of this forest. Your most loyal companions in your past life. Their lives should not be trampled upon like this. Suppressing your fury. You lack the spiritual power to confront them directly, but you have your own methods. You summon the emerald squirrel and the healing spirit butterfly, low-level spirit beasts they deem worthless. But you know their potential. The healing spirit butterfly's powder can poison, and the emerald squirrel's pinecones can explode. You will make them understand the price of underestimating nature. On the battlefield, Bai Ru and Li Feng clash endlessly, while Yan Li takes advantage of the chaos to capture spirit beasts. Each with their own hidden agendas, you watch coldly, your plan already set in motion. The healing spirit butterfly's powder drifts down silently, and the illusion begins to take effect. You know, this is only the first step. When the sound of the giant tree coming to life echoed, everyone was stunned. Hiding within the tree, you used a sound-amplifying talisman to create a commotion, forcing them to release the spirit beasts. Yan Li was the first to retreat, but the others were unwilling, especially Bai Ru. Her arrogance disgusted you beyond measure. Li Feng struck the giant tree you were hiding in with a palm strike, and you gracefully descended to face their accusations with a cold reply. Bai Ru's taunts only deepened your disdain. How dare she call the spirit beasts inferior? Your fury finally erupted. What kind of trash are you to dare question me? Your words pierced her pride like a sharp blade. Fuming with rage, she charged at you, only to be stopped by your gentle raised hand. A green squirrel darted out and hurled 2 stinky squirrel farts at her. Bai Ru was instantly left in disarray, her hair blown into a slicked-back style, reeking of an unbearable stench. Her screams and fury brought you a surge of satisfaction. Jiang Chuan tried to mediate, but Li Feng scoffed and mocked you, calling you nothing but a holier-than-thou saint. You responded with a cold laugh. Spirit beasts? Lowly? Your arrogance and ignorance are what's truly laughable. You know, words alone can't make them understand, so, you summon the emerald squirrels again. They appear holding pine cones, which explode around Bai Ru, sending dust flying everywhere. She is left in a sorry state, covered in soot. Her hair frizzled and charred. Everyone is stunned. Finally daring not to act recklessly, seizing the moment of their shock, you sit cross-legged, form hand seals, and begin reviving the dying spirit beast. Your blood beads transform into blood rings, enveloping the spirit beast's brows. You murmur, "With my flesh and blood, my breath, I invoke the revival seal upon thee. Summon thy life. Awaken." One by one, the spirit beasts wake up and rise, their eyes filled with gratitude. You stand up and glare coldly at those cultivators. They are already intimidated by your power and methods, no longer daring to act rashly. You know this is just the beginning. You must make them understand that the lives of spirit beasts are equally precious, and must not be trampled upon lightly. Do you remember last night's heart-stopping confrontation? At that time, you had already given your all, with blood dripping onto the spiritual beast's brows. Miraculously, those dying spiritual beasts opened their eyes one by one. At that moment, everyone was stunned. Even Li Feng gasped in shock. He originally suspected you were from the Longevity Pavilion, but your protection of the spiritual beasts, and that astonishing ability made him begin to doubt his own judgment. Those cultivators, who had just been frantically hunting the spiritual beasts, were now too terrified to even look up. You looked at their wretched state and sneered inwardly. Bai Zhou and Bai Ru were also so intimidated by you, that they were left speechless. The spiritual beasts stood up again, growling lowly as they circled the cultivators, completely turning the tables. Jiang Chuan tried to stay composed and asked what you intended to do, but his voice trembled. You raise your hand, and the spirit beasts immediately obey, returning to your side. Suppressing your physical weakness, you force yourself to stand up with feigned ease. Behind the mask of healing butterflies, you stifle the blood rising in your throat. The cultivators begin to panic, pleading for mercy one after another. With a cold laugh, you kick one squarely in the chest and stomp hard on his face.
The strong rule, I tell you, I rule. You are beneath me.
Your imposing aura silenced everyone, but Li Feng suddenly struck. His spiritual power had already recovered. Your heart sank as you realized you had underestimated his strength. The cultivators in this world are far stronger than those in your previous post-apocalyptic era. You responded with a cold laugh.
All is fair in war. With just a small stratagem, I've rendered you completely helpless.
Your words made Li Feng ponder, and he finally asked,
Saving them this time won't change their fate as prey next time. That's just how the Eastern Spirit Realm has always been. What's the point of going through all this trouble?
You sneer coldly.
The entire Eastern Spirit Realm is merely home to low-level cultivators, while high-level cultivators excel at conforming to and utilizing the laws of all things. Take me, for example.
Everyone was stunned by these words. You ordered the spirit beast to tighten the encirclement, while the emerald squirrels dropped pine cones, causing explosions to erupt one after another, but just then, you detected traces of talismanic spells amidst the explosions. With no time to investigate further, you forcibly activated an advanced incantation. Yet you had already overexerted yourself. Your consciousness sea-boiled, and the healing butterflies were scorched before falling. Just as you were about to collapse, a surge of icy energy suddenly flooded your consciousness sea. You felt a pair of cold little hands grasp yours, and abruptly opened your eyes, only to find a stranger holding your hand. He wore a silver robe and a pale silver mask. Instead of answering your question, he merely whispered,
Focus.
You follow his rhythm to regulate your breathing, and your consciousness gradually calms. But just as you're about to ask who he is, you find yourself swallowed by the starry sky, and begin to fall. You suddenly wake up and find yourself lying on the ground. Xiao Yin is holding your hand, looking at you expressionlessly. Recalling last night's dream, you feel a surge of irritation. Who was that man? You struggle to get up and find the spirit beasts gathered around you. Xiao Yin is also comforting the larger spirit beasts. Your heart is filled with mixed emotions, touched by the purity of the spirit beasts, yet frustrated by the rules of this world. You know last night's battle was just the beginning. You must become stronger to change all this. But right now, one question still troubles you. Who exactly was that man in your dream? You are Bai Shuang, rushing home from the spirit herb forest with a heart full of anxiety. Along the way, your mind is filled with images of your master. They are the closest person to you, your only pillar of support. But the moment you step through the door, you are met with a murderous gust of wind that nearly takes your life. Li Feng stands at the entrance, staring coldly at you. His gaze makes your heart sink. Sure enough, seated inside are none other than the elders of the Longevity Pavilion. Each of them exudes an intimidating aura, clearly here with ill intentions. You know that a direct confrontation is not an option. Your only way out now is to pretend. Gritting your teeth, you steel yourself and let Xiao Lu sting you with its scorpion tail. The pain brings tears to your eyes, but this is exactly the effect you need. Staggering into the room, you throw yourself at your master's bedside, tears streaming down your face as you wail pitifully.
Master, Shuang was bullied so badly.
You accused while crying.
Shuang originally planned to search for medicinal herbs in the spirit herb forest to cure her master's illness, but who would have thought she'd fall into Lin Qing's trap? Not only did she snatch the things master gave to Ashang, but she also trapped me inside the tree hollow.
Your sudden crying instantly changed the atmosphere in the room. The elders exchanged glances, clearly unprepared for your dramatic move. Li Feng also furrowed his brows, as if pondering whether your words were genuine or not.
What did you say? Lin Qing ambushed you?
An elder finally spoke, his tone laced with skepticism.
Yes.
You raise your head, looking at him with teary eyes.
She also said that master's belongings rightfully belonged to her. She even threatened me, saying if I dared to go home, I would never see my master again.
Your words made the atmosphere in the room even more tense. The elders began whispering among themselves, clearly displeased with Lin Qing's actions. Li Feng's expression grew even more complicated, as if he was weighing the pros and cons.
Enough!
Master's weak voice came from the bed, cutting through all the discussions. You quickly turned your head, looking at Master's pale face, feeling a sharp pain in your heart.
Ashwan, don't cry.
The Master's voice was soft, yet carried an air of authority.
I'll look into what you've said. For now, let these people leave first.
But Master...
You wanted to say more, but Master stopped you with a look. You could only grit your teeth, hold back tears, and stand up.
Esteemed elders, Shuang has just returned from the Spirit Herb Forest, and is physically and mentally exhausted. Please forgive any impropriety.
The Master looked at those elders, his tone calm yet leaving no room for doubt.
If there's nothing else, please leave now.
The elders were clearly unwilling, but the Master's attitude left them no room to argue further. In the end, they had no choice but to leave reluctantly. Li Feng walked last. He glanced at you as if wanting to say something, but ultimately remained silent before turning to leave. Once everyone had gone, you finally let out a sigh of relief, and collapsed onto the ground. The Master looked at you, his eyes filled with complex emotions.
Shuang, how much of what you just said was true?
The Master asks.
Master.
You lower your head, not daring to meet his eyes.
Shuang just wanted to protect you.
The Master sighed and reached out to pat your head.
Silly child, I understand your intentions, but some things cannot be resolved by mere cleverness in the moment.
You nod, but deep down you swear that no matter what, you won't let anyone harm your master. You stand at the edge of the elixir forest, rain trickling down your hair, soaking your clothes, but you pay it no mind. Thunder roars as the downpour intensifies, the whole world seemingly preparing for the coming storm. You know tonight will be anything but peaceful.
Shelf, are you ready?
You asked in a low voice, your gaze fixed on the darkness ahead. Xiao Shuang, I've been ready for a long time, just waiting for your command. Xiao Lu's voice was brimming with excitement, clearly looking forward to the impending tough battle. You took a deep breath and stepped into the forest. The restlessness of the spirit beasts made you even more certain that the divine beast was about to descend, and this forest was already teeming with hidden powerhouses. You could sense their auras, some familiar, some foreign, but all without exception carried a dangerous edge. Suddenly, your gaze was drawn to a familiar figure. It was Bai Hong, the head of the Bai family and your so-called dear father. What was he doing here? Your heart sank as a vague sense of unease crept over you.
Shelf, Bai Hong is here too,
you said in a low voice, with a hint of coldness in your tone. What? What is he doing here? Is it for the divine beast? Xiao Lu looked somewhat surprised, but soon let out a cold laugh. He really leaves no stone unturned. You didn't answer, just kept walking forward. The rain hit your face, icy and biting, but your heart was colder than the rain. Bai Hong's appearance made you even more alert. He was never a simple character. His every appearance meant trouble. Xiao Shuang, be careful. I have a feeling this matter isn't as simple as it seems. Xiao Lu warned.
I know.
You nodded with a determined gaze.
No matter what he wants to do, I won't let him succeed.
As you venture deeper, the roars of the spiritual beasts grow closer, and a tense atmosphere fills the air. You know the descent of the divine beast is imminent, and those powerful figures lurking in the shadows could strike at any moment. Suddenly, a blinding bolt of lightning splits the night sky, illuminating the entire forest. You see Bai Hong standing not far away, his gaze sharp and fixed ahead. Beside him are several elite members of the Bai family, clearly prepared for this moment.
Bai Shuang, long time no see.
Bai Hong's voice sounded exceptionally clear in the rainy night, carrying a hint of a cold laugh.
Master Bai, what a coincidence.
You let out a cold laugh, showing no sign of weakness.
I didn't expect you to be interested in divine beasts too.
A divine beast descends. Who wouldn't be interested?
Bai Hong said lightly, with a trace of inquiry in his eyes.
However, what interests me more is why you're here.
I don't think I need to explain why I'm here to you, do I?
You raised an eyebrow, a hint of sarcasm in your tone. Bai Hong said nothing more, just stared at you coldly. His gaze made you feel uneasy, but you didn't back down. You knew this standoff was just the beginning. The real storm was yet to come.
Xiao, get ready to face the challenge,
you said in a low voice, a cold glint flashing in your eyes. At your command any time. Little Green's voice was brimming with excitement, clearly unable to wait any longer. At that moment, an ear-splitting roar erupted from the depths of the forest, as if the heavens and earth trembled in response. You know the divine beast is finally about to appear. You stand at the edge of that dense forest, your clothes soaked by the rain, with thunder roaring and tension thick in the air. The appearance of Li Feng didn't surprise you, but rather his shocked expression upon seeing you amused you somewhat.
Senior brother Li Feng, it's been a while. You've been appearing near me quite often these days. Why not come into the snow hut for some tea?
He didn't answer, just looked at you with a probing gaze. You know, he's full of curiosity about you, especially since that first meeting in the snow hut. He always seems to feel a sense of déjà vu about you.
I suppose you've already visited my sealed ancient tree, senior brother. Were the investigation results to your satisfaction?
You look at him, sneering inwardly. Sure enough, his pupils contract slightly, clearly stunned by your accurate prediction.
Miss Xiao Shuang, it's still too early to call me senior brother. Although you didn't lie, your acting is quite impressive.
He finally spoke, his tone tinged with hesitation. You couldn't be bothered to respond and turn to leave, but he stubbornly followed.
The news of the divine beast's emergence is now known to all. The ones coming tonight are all masters. For the sake of our acquaintance, I advise you, miss, not to wade into these troubled waters.
You stop in your tracks, can't help but roll your eyes, silently cursing him for being just as insufferable as his detestable master, full of arrogance and superiority.
Have you finished, immortal elder? Hunting beasts is all about individual capability, why bother with me?
With that, you walked away in the opposite direction, without looking back, putting as much distance between you and him as possible. He stood frozen in place, seemingly caught off guard by your resolute stance. You heard him muttering under his breath behind you.
How can this young lady not tell good words from bad?
You let out a cold laugh, thinking to yourself, mocking my low spiritual power. You casually pick up a stone and crush it in your hand, instantly turning it to dust. Little Silver, don't be angry. Your spiritual beast comforts you. Let's not miss the auspicious time. You take a deep breath, suppressing the anger in your heart, and turn to hurry toward the sacred beast's birthplace. When you reach that body of water, thunder roars as the rain falls harder. You see the surrounding woods filled with hidden figures, all eyes fixed intently on that small cave. Spiritual beasts have also gathered around, guarding the sacred beast, yet there's still no movement from within the cave. With such a big commotion, why is there nothing here? Could someone have spread false information? Someone in the crowd couldn't help but speak up. What's the use of guessing? Let's go in and find out. Unable to hold back, someone charges toward the cave. The spirit beasts immediately counterattack, plunging the scene into chaos. Your heart tightens. The very thing you feared most has happened. You know the nature of spirit beasts. Nothing can stop their determination to protect the divine creature.
Xiaoyin, it's all up to you.
You whisper. The battle between humans and spirit beasts intensifies, while you quietly retreat to the rear of the crowd, awaiting the next thunderclap. Boom! A thunderbolt splits the sky, and you seize the moment your right hand points the sword skyward, while your left forms a lightning seal, arcs of electricity crackling around you.
With thunder as my blade, I summon the power of the heavens.
You let out a low shout, your fingers drawing a talisman that instantly multiplies into countless copies, flying toward the crowd.
Slash!
As lightning struck, a pair of enormous black wings suddenly emerged from the cave, shimmering with silver light. The crowd erupted in uproar. The divine beast emerges. You let out a cold laugh, and quietly retreat to the side amidst the chaos. You know those wings are merely a disguise combining your Little Silver and the Black Feather Hawk. As expected, most people chase after the wings, including even Li Feng and Yan Li.
Well done, Xiaoyin!
You whisper praise to yourself, secretly pleased. Now, no one is competing with you for the divine beast. You turn and walk toward the cave, only to find it completely empty. Just as you're puzzled, bubbles suddenly rise from the center of the water, and a group of small water turtles crawl up. Your eyes light up, and you walk over to feel around, actually pulling an egg out of the water.
Xiao Shuang, I've never tried turtle eggs before. Let me taste them quickly. Don't eat it. We'll take it back and hatch it.
Holding the egg in your arms, you secretly rejoice. Although you didn't see the divine beast, at least you've gained something. With the egg and the unconscious Bai Hong, you mount the golden-maned leopard and set off on the road back to the snow hut. Along the way, Bai Hong wakes up groggily and asks with a wary expression,
Who are you?
You let out a light laugh, your eyes darting playfully.
Me? My name is Lin Qing.
After returning to the snow hut, you gave him a spiritual pill to temporarily stabilize his injuries, but deep down, you knew this was only a stopgap measure. You had a greater plan, and Bai Hong was a crucial piece in your scheme.
Sir, would you like to come back to the Bai family with me?
He suddenly spoke up, his tone carrying a hint of probing. You froze for a moment, not expecting him to bring it up first. A cold laugh rose in your heart. It seemed this game of wits had only just begun. You are Bai Shuang, the former young mistress of the Bai family, but your identity was stolen by the impostor Lin Qing, who even tried to bury you alive. Now, you have returned as a vengeful ghost. Relying on the stolen bloodline she took from you, Lin Qing deceived Bai Hong, and successfully replaced you as the young mistress of the Bai family. She even sought to climb higher by engaging with the Jiang family and betrothing Jiang Chuan. Unfortunately for her, her good days are numbered. On this day, Bai Ru suddenly went mad, stormed into Lin Qing's room, smashed her belongings and ordered a search of her quarters. Lin Qing was pushed to the ground, in too much pain to get up. She tried to play the victim to gain sympathy, but Bai Ru wasn't having any of it. Just as Bai Ru was about to teach her a lesson, Hua Mu arrived. She demanded Bai Ru apologize to Lin Qing, but Bai Ru was far from willing. Lin Qing provoked Bai Ru by bringing up the engagement with the Jiang family. The mere mention of Jiang Chuan's name sent Bai Ru into a rage, and she was forcibly dragged away by Hua Mu. Lin Qing watched them leave, seething with hatred. Soaking in her bathtub, she plotted her next move. It was only by using your stolen bloodline that she deceived Bai Hong, stole your position, and now seeks to ensnare Jiang Chuan. But when she discovered the secret manual of spirit pills was missing, panic set in. Just as she was racking her brains, she heard your voice.
Can't figure it out? Lin Qing, you're such an idiot.
Your voice echoed in her ear. She was terrified, convinced you must have become a ghost. Then, she saw you. Your face covered in knife wounds, bleeding from all orifices suddenly appearing in her bathtub. You reached out and grabbed her, muttering incessantly.
Lin Qing, I'm in so much pain.
She screamed, in terror. You pulled out a dagger and stabbed her viciously in the heart.
I'm here to collect some interest.
You were shouting. She woke up screaming from the bathtub. Realizing it was just a nightmare, she decided to set up an array tomorrow to disperse and suppress your soul. Meanwhile, Bairu was still sulking with Huamu, complaining that she didn't help teach Linqing a lesson. Huamu advised her to stay calm, saying she would plan for her. However, Linqing's condition was becoming increasingly abnormal. Her room was covered with talismans and bloodstains. Her face and hair were covered in blood as she wielded a dagger, slashing at anyone she saw. By the time Huamu and Baizhou arrived, Linqing had already gone mad. Charging at Huamu with the dagger, Baizhou struck her down with a palm strike, and Bairu lashed out with a whip, finally knocking her to the ground. The guards arrived and struggled to restrain her. Even while unconscious, Linqing kept muttering,
"Leave me alone."
Her maid Xiaolan said tremblingly that Linqing hadn't slept well these days. Bairu sneered and said,
"Probably did something to feel guilty about."
Huamu's face darkened as the situation seemed to grow increasingly complicated. You are Bai Shuang, having just undergone a heart-stopping contract ceremony. The water turtle egg you brought back from the spirit herb forest has hatched into an ancient divine beast, the profound wood turtle. Not only has it formed the highest level soul contract with you, but it has also unexpectedly drawn Xiaoyin into the bond. The fates of you three are now tightly intertwined, sharing life and death. However, this doesn't bring you relief. Instead, it makes you even more vigilant. The profound wood turtle's spiritual energy leaked out, instantly drawing the attention of the entire Misty Green domain. Outside the Bai Manor, noble families, rogue cultivators, and even envoys from the Longevity Pavilion have swarmed in. You know this storm has only just begun. Sure enough, the Bai family is the first to barge into your residence. Bairu remains the brainless young mistress, immediately questioning you the moment she steps in.
"What treasure just released the spiritual energy? Hand it over quickly."
Her tone was arrogant, her eyes filled with hostility. You were still soaking in the pool, drenched from head to toe, your white robes clinging to your body, accentuating your graceful figure. You didn't rush to respond, just stared coldly at them as you slowly rose to your feet. Droplets slid off your body, and amidst the mist, you emerged like a water nymph stepping out of the waves. Seeing this, Baizhou and Jiang Tuan instantly flushed red and quickly turned their heads away. Jiang Tuan even coughed awkwardly to mask his embarrassment. Bairu stomped her feet in anger at the sight and shrieked,
"How shameless of you to stand in front of a man like this!"
Xiaoyan hands you the cloak from behind, stubbornly fastening it tightly to conceal your figure completely. You speak coldly.
"How dare you barge into my residence and then turn around to question me?"
Bairu wouldn't let it go.
"What do you mean, your residence? This is the Bai family's property. Know your place, or—"
Bairu.
Bai Hong's voice suddenly rang out, cutting her off. He strode in with a grim expression.
"Father, she, ah!"
Before Bairu could finish speaking, she was stunned by Bai Hong's sudden slap.
Today you have repeatedly been disrespectful to Miss Yun, Baizhou. Take Bairu to the ancestral hall for punishment.
Bai Hong's voice brooked no argument. Bairu's face was full of disbelief.
"Father actually hit me for an outsider and even wants to punish me. Do you really intend to take her as a concubine?"
Baizhou noticed Bai Hong's expression change slightly and quickly covered her mouth.
Bairu spoke out of turn. On her behalf, I apologize to Miss Yun. I'll take her away for punishment immediately.
With that, he dragged the irritable Bairu away quickly. Jiang Tuan stood aside, looking extremely awkward. Bai Hong turned to you with a refined smile.
Miss Yun, many distinguished guests have arrived outside. There's no need for me to say more. Come out when you're ready.
You nod with a cold sneer in your heart. Bai Hong's probing is crystal clear to you. Before coming to the Bai family, you had an agreement. You would help him find a new method to heal spiritual veins, and he would not interfere with your affairs. But now, he has clearly begun to suspect you.
"Xiaoyin, accompany me to meet those prestigious families,"
you said calmly, a cold glint flashing in your eyes. Today marks your first battle to establish authority in the Bai family. You changed your clothes and entered the hall, only to find it packed with people. The atmosphere so tense it was suffocating. Your gaze swept across the crowd, immediately spotting Li Feng. He also saw you, his eyes filled with astonishment. The hall was filled with many expert spirit kings, spirit ancestors, and even spirit emperors, making Li Feng, a great spirit master, seem rather insignificant among them. The most eye-catching was a group dressed in red robes, led by a young master holding a folding fan. Dashing and debonair, none other than the familiar Yan Li. On the Bai family side, aside from the family head Bai Hong and his wife Huamu, only Baizhou was present. You knew full well that all these people had come for the anomaly in the heavenly spirit medicine forest. eager to uncover what treasure could cause such a surge of spiritual energy. Sure enough, someone took the lead and probed.
Master Bai, you were present when the divine beast emerged that day, weren't you? Rumor has it everyone came away empty-handed. Could it have fallen into your hands? The Bai family is a renowned and noble house, surely you wouldn't be stingy.
As soon as the words were spoken, someone immediately chimed in. Indeed, Master Bai, since everyone is present now, you can hardly refuse any longer, can you? These people are clearly here to coerce. If the Bai family can't produce the so-called treasure, they will never let this go. You don't rush to speak but instead look at Bai Hong, curious to see how he will respond. Bai Hong steps forward and says calmly,
The treasure does not belong to the Bai family. It is Miss Yun's possession, and the Bai family has no right to decide its fate.
At these words, everyone's gaze turned toward you. Someone immediately sneered. Miss Yun, a young girl like you probably can't protect such a treasure, can you? Why not hand it over and let it find a more suitable owner? You look at Bai Hong but he shows no intention of defending you. Instead he even takes a step back, allowing these people to press closer. You sneer inwardly thinking, as expected, relying on others is worse than relying on yourself. At that moment, Zhang Wujin, the head of the Zhang family, speaks.
Bullying a child like this, aren't you ashamed as a member of the mystic sect? Patriarch Bai, is this how you treat your guests?
Bai Hong responded superficially.
Certainly not. If anyone dares to harm Miss Yun, the Bai family will not stand idly by.
But his attitude was clearly one of standing idly by. Jiang Wuhan, however, had no intention of backing down. He struck directly, sending a beam of white light toward you. In an instant, a silver glowing bracelet appeared on your wrist, the Starlight Bracelet. This was a first-class magical artifact of the Jiang family. Leaving the crowd gasping in astonishment, your heart stirred. Jiang Wuhan's actions left you both surprised and grateful. So, with a faint smile, you opened your mouth and said,
Thank you for the Jiang family's support. But I only have one treasure. I'm afraid it won't be enough to share among so many seniors, will it?
With a wave of your hand, Xiao Yin takes out a small box from the sleeve. As you open the box, a cyan green light flashes out, immediately stirring up the crowd. 9 Revolution Spirit Pill. Someone recognized it, their voice full of shock. You said with a smile.
The other day, I happened to obtain this 9 Revolution Spirit Pill, but there's only one. Who should it go to? In the path of cultivation, the strong reign supreme. If you all desire it, why not compete for it based on your own abilities?
With that, you walk to the doorway and sit down, adopting a spectator stance, even inviting Jiang Wuhan to join you in watching the battle. Jiang Wuhan smiles and sits beside you, while Yan Li and his men stand behind you, showing their support. Li Feng and the Eternal Pavilion members choose to withdraw. Before leaving, Li Feng whispers to you,
The Bai family's eldest daughter is quite resourceful.
You respond with a sweet smile.
Thank you for your praise, Immortal Elder. Take care on your way.
The tension in the room grew thicker until someone finally snapped, and a fierce battle was imminent. Watching them fight relentlessly, you sneered inwardly. These people claim to be noble and righteous, yet they're willing to shed blood over a mere elixir. How laughable. The battle escalated until the house finally collapsed with a thunderous crash. Protected by the Starlight Bracelet, you emerged unscathed, leisurely observing the chaos as if it were a farce. Jiang Wuhan, having seen enough, stood up to take his leave and even invited you to visit the Jiang family sometime. You tried to return the bracelet, only to find it tightly clasped around your wrist, impossible to remove. Yan Lai chuckled beside you.
Stop pulling, they're already far away. By the way, in a few days, I have a fun place I'd like to invite you to. I wonder if you'd honor me with your presence.
You let out a light chuckle.
Where is it?
Yan Li lightly tapped your head with his folding fan.
I'll pick you up then.
In the end, the 9 Revolutions Spirit Pill fell into the hands of the Cloud Sea Trading Company, leaving everyone else empty-handed as they departed in disappointment. Before leaving, Elder Fang Shi of the Cloud Sea Trading Company even made a point to bow to you, extending an invitation for you to bring anything to the company in the future. Bai Hong looked at you with a hint of admiration in his eyes. He smiled and said to you,
It's my fault for not standing up for you. This was indeed my mistake. I promise to grant you the qualification to participate in the Eternal Pavilion selection.
You sneer inwardly. Lin Qing, this is just the first step. You'd better brace yourself for what's coming next. You stand at the entrance of Jade Pavilion, stunned by the scene before you. Huamu actually barged in with a group of men, and everyone was left disheveled and humiliated under the Golden Leopard's intimidating pressure. Just as you were about to demand an explanation, Huamu suddenly fell to his knees with a thud, his eyes filled with urgency and pleading.
Miss Yun, please save Ruer.
Her voice was choked with sobs, clearly overwhelmed with anxiety. You froze. Alarm bells ringing in your mind, Bairu. What happened to her? Huamu sobbed as she explained.
Ruer had been feeling easily fatigued for days, but yesterday she suddenly couldn't get out of bed. Today her condition took a drastic turn for the worse, and it seems, since you saved Haining on your very first day in the manor, I know you have a kind heart. Please, I beg you to go see Ruer. As for my offense of barging in today, I'll accept any punishment you deem fit afterwards.
You narrow your eyes, quickly recalling how Lin Qing's illness was suspicious last time, and now it's Bairu's turn. These matters in the Bai family are definitely not that simple. Without much hesitation, you nod and follow Huamu to Bairu's room. As soon as you enter the room, you sense an oppressive atmosphere. The room is crowded. Bai Hong sits upright in the main seat, accompanied by several favored concubines. Bai Zhou stands to the side, his expression grave. There's also a frail young man seated in a sandalwood wheelchair, likely the second young master, Bai Mo. Behind him hides a little girl, peering at you timidly. She is the youngest child of the Bai family, Bai Ran. What a full house. Looks like you're here for a funeral. Little Green is complaining in your consciousness. You sneer inwardly and respond silently. There's no such thing as a curse without cause, it's just hidden methods. You walk to the bedside and see Bairu looking pale, her breathing faint, her whole body emaciated to mere skin and bone. You reach out to check her pulse, frowning slightly. Indeed, this is no ordinary illness, she's been poisoned.
Miss Yun, is Ruer still savable?
Huamu's voice trembled, her eyes filled with pleading. You raise your head, your gaze sweeping over everyone in the room before finally settling on Bai Hong, and speak calmly.
Master Bai, if I'm not mistaken, the illness of the eldest young lady and the current condition of the second young lady are likely not coincidental.
As these words were spoken, the room erupted in an uproar. The concubines exchanged glances, their eyes flashing with panic. Bai Hong's face darkened as his gaze swept over the crowd like a sharp blade.
What do you mean by that, Miss Yun?
He asked in a deep voice. You stood up unhurriedly, your gaze icy.
The poison affecting the second young miss is called heart-corroding powder. It is colorless, odorless, and extremely difficult to detect. However, once it takes effect, it rapidly erodes one's internal organs until the victim perishes completely. Such poisoning couldn't have happened accidentally, it must have been deliberately administered. What?
Huamu gasped in shock, her eyes filled with astonishment and rage.
Who was it? Who poisoned Ruer?
You didn't answer, just coldly scanned the room before finally fixing your gaze on Bai Zhou. His expression changed slightly, but quickly returned to calm.
Miss Yun, since you've identified it as poisoning, do you have a cure?
Bai Hong's voice was deep and commanding. You nodded and said,
We do have it, but it will take some time to prepare the antidote. The second young miss's condition is already critical. Any further delay could lead to. Just name the medicinal herbs you need.
Huamu urgently interrupted you. You smiled slightly and listed a series of medicinal herbs, then added,
The Bai family should have all these medicinal herbs. May I trouble you, madam, to send someone to prepare them?
Huamu nodded repeatedly, and immediately ordered the servants to fetch the medicinal herbs. You turned to Bai Hong, your tone calm yet leaving no room for doubt.
Master Bai, the second young miss's condition is no trivial matter. If we don't thoroughly investigate this incident, who knows who might be poisoned next?
Bai Hong's face darkened further as he nodded.
Miss Yun is absolutely right. I will thoroughly investigate this matter.
You sneer inwardly, realizing the Bai family's affairs are far more complicated than you imagined. Now, it's just a matter of who will lose their composure first. The medicinal smell in Bairu's room was suffocatingly strong. Looking at her lying on the bed, her face gaunt and her breath faint, your heart clenched with worry. After just 2 or 3 days apart, she had grown so thin, she was almost unrecognizable. Huamu was pacing anxiously nearby, clearly desperate for any cure. You and Zhao Lu exchanged a glance, already knowing the answer in your hearts.
Soul-devouring goo.
You all said it in unison. This type of goo worm is extremely vicious, capable of draining the host's life energy. After the host dies, the goo worm can transfer the energy to the caster. Moreover, the most terrifying aspect of this goo worm is that its host must be a blood relative of the caster. For it to be 100% successful, you scan the room. Huamu, Bai Hong, Bai Zhou, Bai Mo, Bai Ran. Everyone is a suspect. You say solemnly.
There are too many people in the room, and the mixed scents are not conducive to investigation. Please step aside.
Though reluctant, the crowd gradually left the room one after another. As soon as the door closed, you removed the hairpin from your hair, pressed it lightly, and it emitted a fluorescent glow. You pried open Bairu's mouth, and the hairpin released countless strands of emerald green threads that slithered into her ears, nose, and mouth. You continuously channeled spiritual energy, aiding the green threads as they coursed through her body.
Found it! Xiaoshuang, give it one more push and help me get the goo worm out.
Zhao Liva's voice echoes in your mind. You grit your teeth and focus, finally seizing the opportunity when the goo worm tries to flee, striking it down in one hit. With a whoosh, Zhao Liva swiftly and precisely locks onto the goo worm and pulls it out, staring at the plump goo worm in your palm. Zhao Liva drools with craving. Xiaoshuang, let me eat it quickly to nourish my body. You slap away its outstretched tail.
We were counting on this fat worm to lead us to the culprit. Now that you've eaten it, what was the point of us going through all that trouble to catch it?
Although Bairu's life was saved, the damage caused by the soul-devouring goo is irreversible. You can only tell everyone that her life is spared, but her body will never fully recover. Upon hearing this, Huamu hysterically rushes forward, demanding to know why you didn't use the spiritual medicine to save her daughter. Before you could speak, Bai Hong pushes her away and angrily rebukes.
How dare you? Bai Zhu, take your mother away at once.
As Huamu was dragged away by her son, she shouted emotionally.
Bai Hong, you heartless bastard, Bairu ended up like this all because of you. Back then she...
Before she could finish, Bai Hong's eyes turned cold as he instantly grabbed her by the throat.
If you dare to act recklessly again, I'll snap your neck immediately and personally lead the team to wipe out the Hua family.
With that, he tossed her aside like trash, then took your hand and strode away. A chill ran down your spine. This family was far more complicated than you'd imagined. Back at Jade Breeze Pavilion, you tried to calm yourself by grilling meat in the courtyard with your spirit beasts. Little Silver busied himself flipping the skewers, while Little Green started causing trouble again, eyeing the soul-devouring goo trapped in its box with greedy longing. You ignored it, accepting the grilled meat Little Silver handed you, ready to eat. Suddenly, the Blackwing Hawk flew alertly to the treetop. Thud! A talisman descended from the sky, landing in your palm. Unfolding it, you smirked coldly.
Bring them in.
Before long, Bai Mo and Bai Ran appear in your courtyard. Bai Mo, who appeared frail during the day, now looks full of vigor. Meanwhile, the usually gentle Bai Ran wears an icy expression, her eyes hiding a sinister glint.
What a refined mood you're in, Miss Yun.
Bai Mo spoke, his tone carrying a hint of probing. He stated bluntly that he knew you had a purpose for staying with the Bai family, and was willing to cooperate with you. You let out a cold laugh, and tossed him the small box containing the soul-devouring goo. Bai Mo opened the box, a flash of excitement in his eyes. He warned you to be careful of Bai Hong, to which you retorted.
The cultivation method practiced by the third young miss is too sinister and bewitching. Beware of losing control and going berserk.
The two reached a tacit understanding, forming an unspoken agreement. After seeing them off, you were about to continue grilling meat when you suddenly sensed a murderous aura approaching. Xiao Yin and the spirit beasts immediately went on high alert. You smirked coldly and ordered Xiao Yin to lure the intruder in. Meanwhile, you set up an arcane formation in the courtyard, quietly waiting for the prey to take the bait. Sure enough, a great spirit master level assassin at the peak of his power appeared. Seeing that you were only at the spirit master peak, he charged at you without hesitation. The moment he stepped into the formation, a golden light erupted, suppressing his power to the same level as yours.
Same level, perfectly fair.
With a cold smirk, you conjure a sharp sword in your hand and thrust it straight at his throat. The assassin turns pale with fright, stumbling backward, but you give him no chance to catch his breath. Sword flashes descend like rain, culminating in a fatal thrust through the throat. Blood splatters as you coldly gaze into the shadows.
Aren't you two here to kill me? Why are you still hiding?
You stand before the formation, watching as the two assassins pale with fear, not daring to take another step forward. They throw hidden weapons, attempting to attack you from a distance. But with just a casual wave of your hand, the weapons turn around and chase after them. As if they had eyes, no matter how they dodge, they can't shake them off. Xiao Yin assists from the side, forcing them toward the formation. You clasp your hands together, recite the incantation, and the formation spreads like a giant net. The two are terrified and ultimately trapped, their cultivation suppressed to the peak of the spirit realm. They collapse within the formation, staring at you in utter disbelief. The so-called trash mentioned by the employer turns out to be a formidable opponent. One of them suddenly asks,
Are you the owner of Kuiwei Lu?
You smile faintly.
Exactly.
They exchanged a glance. The mission must be completed, and then launched a joint attack against you. As your stamina waned, they grew confident of victory. But just then, a sword struck your right arm, instantly staining your sleeve crimson with blood. The pain made you gasp, but instead of retreating, your fighting spirit burned even brighter. Using the talisman Ran An gave you, You instantly multiplied into countless copies, surrounding the two assassins. With a single thrust of your sword, attacks came from all directions. They couldn't defend themselves and were utterly overwhelmed by you. Before long, both were covered in wounds. One of them finally broke down and screamed,
Please, kill me.
They could tell you could have finished them off long ago, but chose to torment them instead, which filled them with dread. You smirked and materialized a dagger, your eyes glinting with amusement, yet sending chills down their spines. You sliced off an entire chunk of flesh from one's arm, exposing the ghastly white bone beneath. The formation held them firmly in place, leaving them unable to move. You demanded,
Talk! Who's the employer? Speak, and we'll make it quick. Otherwise, we'll slice you 1,000 times, hang you upside down to drain your blood, and make your death slow and agonizing.
One of them finally spoke.
It's the Bai family.
Another person angrily rebuked him for exposing their employer, breaking the rules. You let out a cold snort, attaching a sound transmission talisman to broadcast their screams throughout every corner of the Bai family residence. A warning to the mastermind behind this.
You're next!
After dealing with the assassin, you set up a barrier and sent a message to Moan, instructing him to trace the origin of the assassin organization. You knew it was Lin Qing's doing, but she must have had accomplices behind her. You bandaged your wounds, your body aching as if it had fallen apart, and drifted into a hazy sleep. In your dream, you saw the man with the silver mask again. His gentle gaze put you at ease, and even the pain vanished. You tried to remove his mask to see his face, but at that very moment, you woke up. The next morning, you woke up to find your wounds had healed considerably. Outside Kuiwei Tower, a crowd had gathered, but Lin Qing was too frightened to show up. You dismissed the crowd, and had the Hua family take away the assassin's body. Yet, you couldn't shake off a strange feeling your father Bai Hong had just left, and the assassin arrived right after. Today the Hua family suddenly appeared. None of this could be a coincidence. Just as you were about to head to the Jiang family, Moan showed up at your door, mysteriously claiming he had a show for you to watch. You followed him and ran on into a secret chamber. No sooner had you hidden yourselves than you heard Lin Qing's voice.
Madam, what are you doing? Let go of me!
Then came Huamu's vicious voice.
Let you go? If I let you go, who will be the medicinal guide for my ruler?
Holding your breath, you see Lin Qing tied to a pillar while Bairu lies on a couch. Both are placed within a strange ritual formation. Lin Qing pleads in terror, but Huamu ignores her and slaps her twice viciously, venting years of pent-up resentment.
You're just like that bitch of a mother of yours. Why won't you obediently offer the celestial blood?
Hearing celestial blood, your heart skips a beat, and you crane your neck to keep watching. Lin Qing tries to escape but is trapped by the formation, rolling back in disarray beneath Bairu's soft couch. She takes out spiritual herbs from her storage ring to beg for mercy. But Huamu sneers and says,
The elixir must be taken, but to save Rui, we still need your celestial blood.
Huamu's face twisted ferociously as countless blades flew out from the formation, cutting Lin Qing all over her body. Her blood was extracted by the formation, flowing toward Bairu's heart. Lin Qing pleaded desperately, but Huamu remained unmoved. You glance at Moan, and he nods in agreement. So you dart forward, interrupting Huamu's spellcasting. Lin Qing, as if seeing a savior, crawls to your feet, offering her storage ring while tearfully begging you to save her. You coldly take the ring, then suddenly stab a knife into her chest, retrieving your own heart's blood. So, she used your heart's blood to deceive the Bai family. Lin Qing, on the verge of death, lets out a mad laugh.
Bai Shuang, last night's assassins failed to kill you. You've been acting so well. I can't believe I was fooled by you for so many years.
She spewed a mist of blood, forming the character Annihilation in crimson, attempting to drag you to death with her. You gazed coldly at her, yet a tumult of complex emotions surged within. Her jealousy and betrayal pained you, but also steeled your resolve. Never again would you let anyone harm you so easily. You're bound by blood chains, unable to move, but you know these petty tricks can't hold you. So you feign struggle while subtly glancing at Huamu. You're well aware that Huamu is sharp. After hearing your exchange with Lin Qing, she'd surely catch on. Sure enough, she acts decisively, shattering the blood chains with her spiritual power. The moment the chains break, you covertly redirect their force, wrapping Lin Qing up tightly instead. A split second later, times boom times the chains explode, reducing Lin Qing to a mist of blood, vanishing completely. Her final scream echoes through the chamber.
White frost!
You heard it loud and clear. As she dissipated, you felt the pain from the curse on your left arm lessen significantly. The first wish of the original host was finally fulfilled. Knowing the act wasn't over yet, you pretended to be affected by the spiritual energy, collapsing to the ground. You even bit your tongue and spat out blood, putting on a pitiful display. Huamu indeed took the bait, rushing over to check on you, but she casually used a handkerchief to collect your blood and began studying it.
Xiao Shuang, you could clearly win the fight, yet you're coughing up blood. Isn't your act a bit too much?
She complained while studying. You wiped the blood from the corner of your mouth, concealing a smug smile.
If the act isn't convincing, how would they fall for it?
Suddenly, her expression changed as she stared at your face, a mix of complex emotions welling up inside her.
You are the true White Frost.
She reaches out to grip your neck, her voice filled with resentment and hesitation.
I should have realized earlier that you look exactly like the spirit coffin. No matter how you look at it, it makes much more sense that it's you.
You struggled desperately, pounding her hand until she finally snapped out of it and loosened her grip. You fell to the ground, secretly sneering at her hesitation. This was your chance. Taking advantage of her distraction, you quietly used the talisman Ranan gave you to boost your spiritual power, combined with the blood you had just sprayed on the formation. With a bang, you shattered the trap that held you. Huamu screamed.
How dare you destroy my formation?
But she quickly shut up as you dashed to Bairu's side in an instant, pressing the dagger against her neck.
Let go of Ruer.
Huamu panics, her face turning deathly pale. You smirk coldly and make a slight motion with your hand, leaving a bloody gash on Bairu's face. Huamu is completely terrified and quickly begs for mercy.
As long as you spare Ruer, we'll pretend today's incident never happened. When your father returns, I'll testify for you, and you can rightfully reclaim your position as the eldest daughter of the Bai family.
You raised an eyebrow, speaking in a cold tone.
Madam, don't be impatient. Answer my questions, and Bairu will be fine. How much do you know about my mother's spirit coffin?
Upon hearing the name Spirit Coffin, Huamu's eyes flickered with hesitation, refusing to speak for a long time. Without hesitation, you raised your knife and swiftly severed one of Bairu's fingers, tossing it onto her face.
I'll talk.
Huamu finally breaks down and begins to recount the story of Lingguan. Listening to her narration, your heart churns, with complex emotions. It turns out your mother Lingguan was neither Bai Hong's wife nor concubine, but was imprisoned in Kuiwei Tower. She refused to marry Bai Hong, yet he forcibly kept her by his side. Huamu also admits she once tried to eliminate Lingguan, only to end up damaging her own daughter Bairu's spiritual consciousness, leaving her mentally impaired. Your heart tightens as you listen, and memories of the original host being periodically drained of blood resurface. Huamu sneers and reveals.
The celestial blood within you holds immense temptation for cultivators, and even your own father is no exception.
Just as Huamu was about to continue speaking, she was suddenly stabbed through the heart from behind. You stare in shock as she collapses, only to see Bai Hong's figure appear before you. He coldly withdraws his sword, turns toward you, and gently wipes the blood from the corner of your mouth.
Miss Yun, you must have been frightened. Let me take you out of here.
For a moment, you're at a loss for words, as Bai Hong's tenderness sends a chill through your heart. This man, who just killed his own wife without hesitation, is now showing you such consideration. Huamu lies on the ground, her eyes filled with venomous resentment and despair. She crushes the communication jade token, sending out a distress signal in an attempt to buy time. Her final scream sends a shudder through you.
Bai Hong, your thoughts are truly disgusting. Ha ha ha, what a farce! Do you know who the person behind you is? She is actually your daughter Bai.
Before she could finish, Bai Hong grabbed her by the throat and coldly threatened.
I told you one more time, and I'll break your neck with my own hands.
As the words faded, a sickening crack sounded. Huamu's neck was snapped. Witnessing this, a chill crept up from the depths of your heart. Bai Hong's eyes were as cold as stagnant water, as if killing his own wife was just another mundane act. He took your hand and led you out of the secret chamber. Along the way, he never spoke another word, as if nothing in the chamber mattered at all. Your mind swirled with questions. Why had Bai Hong returned to the estate early? How did he know you were in the secret chamber? Hesitantly, you ventured a question.
I am Bai Shuang.
But he didn't respond, his footsteps never faltering. You couldn't read his thoughts at all. It wasn't until you saw Xiao Yin and Jiang Chuan appear before you that you realized where you were headed. Xiao Yin immediately rushed forward to shield you. Pulling Bai Hong away, Jiang Chuan explained that the Jiang family had invited you to help care for the ill, Madame Jiang. Though puzzled, you knew the Bai family would soon descend into chaos, and escaping now might be for the best. In the carriage, you tried to break the ice by asking Jiang Chuan about Madame Jiang's condition. But his evasive answers only deepened your curiosity. Upon arriving at the Jiang residence, you discovered the supposedly sick Madame Jiang was full of energy, lively as ever, even scolding servants in the courtyard. A quiet alarm sounded in your mind. This Jiang family seemed far from simple. You're sitting in the room busily drawing talismans, beads of sweat rolling down your forehead, feeling extremely anxious. Xiao Yin's poison backlash came too suddenly. You must find the Frostheart grass as soon as possible, or trade these talismans for something to save his life. Just as you're concentrating intently, a familiar voice suddenly rings out.
Junior sister.
You suddenly look up and see a white figure darting into the room, its face beaming with joy at the sight of you.
Senior brother?
You froze for a moment before recognizing him as your senior brother, Fang Shi. Why would he appear so suddenly? You recall him mentioning the Cloud Sea Trading Company before? Could he be here to help? Fang Shi glanced at the talisman papers covering your table, his eyes revealing a hint of surprise.
Junior sister, what are you doing? Why are you all sweaty?
You don't have time to explain much, so just speak up. Senior brother, Little Yin has been poisoned and is suffering from a backlash. I need Frostheart grass to save him.
I heard the Yunhai Merchant Guild might have some. I'm preparing some talismans to see if I can trade for the Frostheart grass.
Fang Shi frowned, clearly also worried about Xiao Yin's situation.
Frostheart grass? It's indeed rare, but don't worry. With me here, the matters of the Cloud Sea Trading Company are in my hands.
Hearing this, you feel slightly relieved, but still can't completely let your guard down.
Senior brother, the goods from the Yunhai Commerce Guild aren't easily obtained. Are you sure you can help me?
Fang Shi smiled, his tone carrying a hint of confidence.
Little junior sister, have you forgotten who I am? The master of Yunhai Commerce Guild is my good friend. As long as there's Frostheart grass, I can definitely help you obtain it.
You stare at him, half convinced yet skeptical, but with no other options, you can only nod and say,
All right, I'll leave it to you, senior brother.
Fang Shi pats his chest.
Don't worry, junior sister. I won't let you down.
At the hour of high the next day, you and Fang Shi went to the Cloud Sea Merchant Guild together. The atmosphere in the guild was extraordinarily lively, with people from various noble families gathered here, creating a spectacular scene. Following behind Fang Shi, you felt somewhat nervous. After all, the Frostheart grass was a matter of life and death for Xiao Yin. The auction began, and one precious item after another was brought out for bidding, keeping your heart on edge, until the host announced, Next up is a Frostheart grass from the Frigid Lands. Your eyes instantly lit up, fixed intently on the Frostheart grass on the stage. Fang Shi also noticed your reaction and whispered to you,
Junior sister, don't worry. I'll definitely help you secure this Frostheart grass.
The auction has begun, and the price of Frostheart grass is skyrocketing with fierce competition. Watching those people frantically raising their bids, you feel increasingly nervous, and can't help but ask Fang Shi.
Senior brother, what should we do? The price is too high.
Fang Shi remained calm and said,
Junior sister, don't worry. Leave it to me.
He raised the token in his hand and announced an astonishing price, instantly silencing the entire room. You looked at him in surprise, never expecting him to be so decisive. In the end, Fang Shi won the bid for the Frostheart grass, and the weight in your heart finally lifted. Fang Shi handed the Frostheart grass to you and said with a smile,
Junior sister, take it. Saving lives is urgent.
As you take the Frostheart grass, your eyes grow slightly moist.
Thank you, senior brother. I really appreciate it.
Fang Shi waved his hand.
Junior sister, we're fellow disciples. No need for such formalities. Let's hurry back to save Xiao Yin.
You hurried back to the Lin residence with the Frostheart grass and immediately began treating Xiao Yin. The Frostheart grass proved effective, gradually suppressing Xiao Yin's poisoning as his complexion slowly returned to normal. Watching Xiao Yin finally out of danger, you let out a long sigh of relief. Filled with deep emotion, Fang Shi's appearance was truly a godsend, and it strengthened your resolve no matter what. You must protect those around you and never let them fall into danger again. You are fully absorbed in crafting talismans, your mind solely focused on completing the task as quickly as possible. Suddenly, Leon bursts in with great urgency. You glance up at him, feeling somewhat puzzled. This senior brother is usually so composed. Why is he in such a hurry today? He casually picks up a talisman and stares at it for a long time. Finally, he blurts out,
Why is there nothing?
You sigh inwardly, realizing he doesn't understand after all. You take the talisman paper and start packing your things, casually asking him,
Senior brother, why are you here? Is there something wrong with our master?
Li Yun's expression froze for a moment before he forced a smile.
Everything is fine in the sect.
But you saw through his disguise at a glance and called him out directly.
Senior brother, you can't hide it from me. Did you come to see me without being noticed by senior brother Lifeng?
Li Yun sighed and finally revealed the current state of the sect. It turned out that the master was seriously ill, and the situation within the sect was far from optimistic. The Bibo Pavilion has been heavily marginalized, to the point where even your identity is not recognized, and you're being secretly monitored. Hearing this, Your heart grew heavy. You knew all too well the methods of Li Feng. He must already have his eyes on you. He might have even found clues about the secret manual. Li Yun advised you not to return to the sect to avoid drawing more attention from Li Feng. He also suggested you come clean with the Bai and Lin families to seek their protection. Your heart warmed with gratitude for your senior brother's concern, but you knew you couldn't back down now. You were determined to participate in both of the sect's major competitions, the Disciple Selection Tournament and the Five Continents Alliance Immortal Sect Tournament. This is your chance to prove yourself, and also an opportunity to fight for your master. You then ask Li Yun if the sect has any Frost Heart grass. As soon as Li Yun hears you mention Xiao Yun's condition, his expression turns serious. He promises to do his best to help you find the Frost Heart grass, as saving lives is the priority. Filled with gratitude, you offer him a solemn bow. Next, you work day and night crafting talismans, and finally finish before high hour, 9 to 11 p.m. To avoid drawing attention, you disguise yourself as a man, wearing a silver robe and a silver mask. Standing in front of the mirror, you realize you've unconsciously dressed like someone in particular, and can't help but mock yourself. Jiang Chuan also dons a black mask and accompanies you to the Cloud Sea Trading House. The auction house is bustling with people, nearly everyone wearing masks to conceal their identities. You find yourself growing more intrigued by this auction. As you stepped into the dimly lit stairway, a sudden exclamation caught your attention. Someone recognized the emblem of the Mystic Water Palace, and following their gaze, you saw a lavishly dressed young woman surrounded by 3 sharp-eyed maids. You grew wary inside. These people didn't seem easy to deal with. Sure enough, one of the maids abruptly blocked your path and demanded to buy your hairpin. Jiang Chuan immediately shielded you, coldly refusing, but the other party acted arrogantly, even reaching out to block your way. Just as you were about to speak, you noticed Li Feng's figure appearing behind you. Like a persistent ghost, annoyance flared in your heart, and you decided to teach this stalker a lesson. At that moment, a playful voice rang out. Yan Lie emerged from nowhere, directly exposing the other party's identity, sparking murmurs among the crowd. Lan Yue's expression darkened slightly, as she suppressed her anger, trying to defuse the situation. But the young woman beside her arrogantly shouted a price, attempting to force the purchase of your hairpin. An idea struck you, and you deliberately named an exorbitant price.
1,000 mid-grade spirit stones.
This statement stunned everyone, and the girl opposite was also provoked into a dilemma, having no choice but to grit her teeth and agree. You smiled and handed the hairpin to her, while secretly instructing Xiao Lu to remove the poison from the money pouch. The girl triumphantly put on the hairpin, unaware that she had already fallen victim to your countermove. Jiang Chuan couldn't understand your actions, and quietly asked why you sold the hairpin. You lowered your head with a faint smile, secretly pleased with yourself. At that moment, a black-clad figure from the auction house came to guide the way. Seizing the opportunity, you handed him a box, and asked him to deliver it to Elder Feng Shi. You knew this step was crucial, and what would happen next was anyone's guess. You stand in the private room of the Yunhai Chamber of Commerce, still savoring everything that just happened. The arrogance of the gray-robed man, the elusive presence of Yan Li, and Elder Feng Shi's decisive actions, along with the stunning effect of your Crimson Flame Dragon sigil, leave you with mixed yet exhilarating emotions. As you gaze at the teleportation mirror and hear the prompt tone, your heart skips a beat. A guest from room Wasteland number 21 has initiated a joint invitation? What does this mean? You turn to look at Jiang Chuan, who also wears a puzzled expression.
Do you accept?
Jiang Chuan asks you in a low voice. You narrow your eyes, thinking to yourself that an invitation at this moment is definitely not from an ordinary person. You feel a mix of curiosity and wariness, but ultimately nod in agreement. The image in the teleportation mirror flickers, and a figure appears in the reflection. It's a man dressed in a purple robe, with handsome features, and a cold, dignified demeanor. His sharp gaze carries an undeniable sense of pressure.
Miss Yun,
The man spoke, his voice deep and powerful.
I've long heard of your great reputation, and now that we've met, you truly live up to it.
You smile faintly and say calmly,
You flatter me, sir. May I ask what brings you here?
The man did not answer directly, but instead took out a small box from his sleeve. Upon opening it, a crystal-clear spiritual herb was revealed. You immediately recognized it, the very target of your mission tonight, the Frost Heart herb.
I heard you're interested in Frost Heart grass. Would you consider trading with me?
The man's gaze is fixed on you, as if testing your reaction. Your heart skips a beat. Frost Heart grass is crucial to you, but you know someone who possesses such an item would never trade it lightly.
An exchange is possible, but may I ask what you desire?
You tentatively ask. The man's lips curl slightly into a meaningful smile.
I heard that the lady possesses a Crimson Flame Dragon sigil. Is this true?
So it's the talisman you're after. You sneer inwardly while maintaining a calm facade.
Your Excellency is well informed.
I'm willing to exchange this Frost Heart herb plus 100 top-grade spirit stones for your talisman, miss.
The man's tone exudes confidence, as if certain you'll agree. You shake your head gently.
Adding Frostheart grass and 100 top-grade spirit stones still severely underestimates the value of the Crimson Flame Dragon Talisman.
The man frowned slightly, clearly not expecting your refusal. After a moment of contemplation, he spoke again.
Then I'll add another treasure, the Amulet of Violet Light. It can protect its owner from danger. What do you think, miss?
Your heart stirs. The value of the Violet Light amulet is considerable, making it a fair exchange indeed. But you know that at tonight's auction, the Crimson Flame Dragon sigil might fetch an even higher price.
Thank you for your kindness, sir.
You smile faintly.
However, I still prefer to put the talisman up for auction. After all, the Chamber of Commerce's reputation speaks for itself.
The man's expression darkened slightly but quickly returned to calm. He nodded and said,
In that case, I won't insist. I hope to have the chance to witness the lady's talisman skills at tonight's auction.
With that, his figure vanished from the teleportation mirror. Jiang Chuan looked at you and couldn't help but ask,
Why didn't you agree? The Frostheart grass and the Violet Light amulet combined are already a grand gesture.
You smiled softly, with confidence shining in your eyes.
Jiang Chuan, you must remember, truly good things will never have trouble finding buyers. Tonight's auction will be its finest stage.
Jiang Chuan nodded thoughtfully, seeming to understand your meaning. You looked down at the teleportation mirror in your hand, but your mind was preoccupied with tonight's auction. You knew this would be an extraordinary night. Your talisman would become the center of attention, and you would use this opportunity to take a crucial step in your plan. You're sitting in the private box, having just won the Frostheart herb at auction. Before you can fully relax, the second auction item is brought onto the stage. Inside a cage lies a barely alive large bird, its feathers charred black, looking utterly wretched. Before you can examine it closely, the mystic wood turtle beside you becomes agitated, telling you it's an injured spirit beast. Your heart tightens, as you quickly soothe it. Don't worry, I'll definitely save it. Hearing this, the mystic wood turtle obediently settles back into your palm, its eyes filled with trust. The auctioneer unveils the cage cover, announcing this is the legendary Solar Phoenix, the embodiment of the sun in ancient mythology. The announcement sends waves of astonishment through the crowd, instantly electrifying the atmosphere. But you keenly notice something off about the large bird's gaze. A flash of ferocity appears for mere seconds before reverting to its half-dead appearance. The mystic wood turtle whispers a warning to you. It's not the Li Yang bird. The color is wrong, and the scent is off. This thing reeks of dark energy, and harbors vengeance. It's definitely not the pure yang-bodied Li Yang bird. Your heart sinks as you realize this spirit beast must have an extraordinary origin, but you promised the mystic wood turtle to save it no matter what. Thus, you begin participating in the bidding. The price soars rapidly, with competition fiercer than even the Frostheart herb auction. Blue Yao from the Profound Water Palace, Yan Lie, and even your cousin Bai Zhou have joined the fray. Blue Yao gnashes her teeth and shouts,
400,000 low-grade spirit stones.
Then you leisurely added, 400,001. At that moment, the entire room froze. Your way of raising the bid was clearly meant to provoke. Lan Yao was so furious her face turned green, immediately shouting,
500,000 low-grade spirit stones.
You remain calm. 500,001.
600,000 low-grade spirit stones.
Lan Yao almost shouted it out. 600,001 yuan. You casually added on. At this point, Lan Yao completely exploded.
Sky, no 12. Don't try to act like a big shot when you can't afford it. Failure to provide spirit stones will land you on the Cloud Sea Commerce blacklist. Think carefully about the consequences of competing with me.
You let out a light laugh and retort without hesitation. What consequences? Does the Blackwater Palace plan to ambush us afterwards? I've long heard of the reputation of the young master of Blackwater Palace and Blackwater Continent, but I never expected the difference between twins could be so vast. Seems like all the brains went to the young master alone. As soon as your words fell, Yan Li's laughter erupted from the sound conch, openly mocking Lan Yao without restraint. Her face turned livid with anger, yet she could do nothing about it. In the end, you secured the spirit beast with a bid of 600,001 piece. Though the price was absurdly high, you knew deep down it wasn't just about fulfilling the promise to the Mystic Wood Turtle. It was also about uncovering the secrets hidden behind this spirit beast. After the auction concluded, you had the cage delivered to your private booth. Gazing at the barely alive large bird inside the cage, your eyes grew profound. This auction was far more complicated than you had ever imagined, and you were already prepared to face the coming storm. You are Bai Shuang. Tonight's auction was truly thrilling. Especially the battle of wits with Mystic Water Palace's Lan Yao. It was absolutely exhilarating. At first, Lan Yao was so furious, she crushed her sound conch, swearing to tear you to pieces. Listening to her roars, you secretly found it quite amusing. She tried to exhaust your spirit stones by driving up the prices, but she underestimated both your wealth and patience. Each time, you outbid her by just one spirit stone, relentlessly pushing the price of Frostheart grass to 780,001 low-grade spirit stones. Her temples throbbed with rage, and she even mocked you for being petty.
Could it be that you've spent too much on buying my hairpin earlier, and now lack spirit stones? If so, just back out already. Why waste time with all this talk?
These words immediately caused an uproar in the auction house. The crowd buzzed with discussions about your feud with Lan Yao. Some even began mocking the Mystic Water Palace for its coercive trade practices. Furious, Lan Yao pulled out the jade hairpin from her hair, ready to snap it, but she was harshly taught a lesson by your spirit pet, Little Green. Little Green reverted to its scorpion form and scurried all over her body, stinging her until she rolled on the ground in agony, before being knocked unconscious and dragged away by Lan Yu. Watching her humiliating retreat, you secretly gloated. The blazing sunbird naturally became yours. Next, your talisman made its appearance. The moment the mid-tier second-grade, Blazing Flame talisman was revealed, it caused a sensation throughout the venue. The crowd marveled at its power, with some even rolling up their sleeves, ready to bid. Listening to their discussions, you secretly rejoiced in your heart. Indeed, your talisman was worth a fortune. You deliberately shouted a high price of 600,000, pushing the atmosphere in the room to its peak. In the end, this talisman was won by Bai Zhou for 800,000. Your heart blossomed with joy. Tonight's auction was practically your stage. After the auction, Elder Fengshi personally received you. He handed you the spirit stones earned from the auction, and even gifted you a small lotus-shaped bell. As a special access token for the Yunhai Commerce Guild, you thanked him politely and promised future cooperation. Then, he led you to the inner chamber to retrieve the solar phoenix. But who would have thought that this giant bird was actually a disguised monster? As soon as the restraint was lifted, it transformed into a mass of yellowish-brown smoke, emitting eerie laughter that left Elder Fengshi utterly panicked. You were well prepared, silently chanting an incantation. The pre-arranged talismans instantly formed an inescapable net, firmly trapping the smoke. As lightning struck, the smoke let out a piercing wail. A triumphant smile curled at the corner of your lips.
Got him!
Tonight, you not only made a fortune but also taught Lan Yao a harsh lesson, successfully subdued the monster. You secretly marveled at how truly spectacular this auction was. You stand in the hall of the Yunhai Merchant Guild, holding a heaven and earth net talisman in your hand. The small creature before you is tightly restrained. It had just transformed into Elder Fengshi's appearance, even mimicking his voice perfectly, but deep down, you know this is definitely not the real Elder. So, you turn and ask the real Elder Fengshi.
Elder, do you know of the earth puppet?
Upon hearing this, Elder Fengshi's expression changed slightly. After a moment of contemplation, he suddenly understood.
Earth Spirit Puppet? A spiritual beast from the Dust Sand realm. It excels at transforming its shape and mimicking the appearance of things it sees. No wonder it was mistaken.
You nod and add.
It was captured when it transformed into a Liang bird, and the restraints prevented it from reverting to its original form.
While you were discussing, the Earth Spirit Puppet suddenly transformed into your likeness with a bang. You let out a cold laugh and threatened.
You are already in my grasp. If you still refuse to submit, don't blame me for reducing you to ashes.
As soon as the words were spoken, a bolt of lightning struck down, and that you instantly turned into smoke, writhing in agony. You shouted sternly.
Show your true form.
As the smoke cleared, a palm-sized earth-yellow doll was revealed, its 3 white eyes filled with malice. In your previous life, you had only seen this spirit beast in the illustrated guide, but now this earth puppet piqued your interest greatly. Elder Fengshi also watched eagerly, but you knew the rules. This spirit beast was yours. Without hesitation, you tightly bound it with the green vine whip and talismans. You tossed it into the mystic wood turtle spirit beast space, letting the divine turtle keep it company. Elder Fengshi looked at you and couldn't help but speak up.
Miss Yun, the spiritual beast auctioned is not the solar phoenix, which was a mistake by the Cloud Sea Commerce. How about?
You interrupt him.
Elder, no need to thank me. If it were someone else, they would surely cause trouble for the Merchant Guild, but not me.
A few words that both save face for the Chamber of Commerce and carry an implicit threat, leaving the Elder no choice but to awkwardly back down. He reminds you.
You're so conspicuous tonight that someone might approach you as soon as you leave the guild. Be extremely careful, miss.
A chill runs down your spine as you thank him for the warning and hand him a talisman in return.
We may have to trouble the Elder frequently in the future.
The Elder accepted the talisman, holding you in even higher regard in his heart. Outside the Merchant Guild, Xiao Mo was already waiting. He reminded you.
Young master, Several people have already set their eyes on you. Please avoid taking secluded paths.
You nod, change into women's attire, and after freshening up, Xiao Mo is momentarily dazed as he looks at you. You smile and instruct him. And
Next time I come, you must come out to greet me immediately.
Xiao Mo nodded repeatedly, saw you out the door, and even helped you shake off those tails, but you still sensed someone following you. You sneered inwardly since they weren't making a move. It was your turn to take the initiative. Deliberately walking into an open area, you said coldly.
You dare to follow me, but don't dare to show yourself? With such little skill, you still attempt an ambush?
As soon as the words were spoken, a familiar voice rang out.
Or what?
You turn your head and see Yan Li holding a folding fan, wearing an annoyingly smug grin.
Miss Bai is so heartless. She didn't even wait for me after the auction ended.
You rolled your eyes and kicked out, but he looked aggrieved.
I kindly offered to escort Miss Bai home, and this is how I'm treated.
As you were speaking, a sinister wind blew by, and you suddenly grabbed his collar.
Someone's here!
Yan Li immediately wiped the grin off his face and turned to shield you behind him. Several figures in black robes emerged from the shadows, led by a young nobleman who issued a cold threat.
Hand over the Solar Phoenix, or face certain death.
You sneer.
Come and take it if you dare.
As soon as the words fell, the two vanguards swung their swords and attacked. You and Yan Li dodged aside in perfect sync. Flames gathered in his palm as he grabbed one assailant's wrist, instantly setting the man's arm ablaze. Seizing the opportunity, you struck. Crack! The man's arm snapped clean off. Seeing this, the lead noble ordered everyone to attack simultaneously. You and Yan Li exchanged a glance, and he whispered,
To catch the bandits, first catch their leader.
You immediately cooperate with him, chanting the incantation to summon the Crimson Flame Dragon Talisman, trapping the assassins. Yan Li lunges at the lead nobleman, the Crimson Flame Talisman in his palm instantly subduing the opponent. Young master! Seeing their master captured, several assassins tried to break through the encirclement, but were tightly trapped by the fire dragon. You sneered while gazing into the shadows.
Finally decided to show up? We've been waiting for you for a long time.
4 figures in blue appeared, and Yan Li immediately recognized them as members of the Mystic Water Palace. Len Yu coldly pointed at your emerald hairpin.
What is that venomous thing on your head? Why did you ambush the second young lady Lan?
You retort disdainfully.
Who provoked me first? Who forced the sale? And who poisoned the money pouch? I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine.
Yan Li sneers from the side.
The Mystic Water Palace has always been like this, so hypocritical.
Blue Moon orders you to hand over the antidote, yet you say nonchalantly.
There's a medicinal herb in the spirit herb forest that can cure it. What's it called again? Oh dear, I forgot. Then please bear with it, second Miss Lan. It'll be fine in 7 days.
She turned pale with rage. You turned to Bai Zhou and said coldly.
As for you, what gives you the right to negotiate with me?
With that, he waved his hand, and the fire dragon passed through his followers' bodies, their screams echoing endlessly. Bai Zhou roared.
Lin Qing! How could you be so cruel?
You sneer.
Since you dared to ambush us, you'd better be prepared for a fate worse than death.
Do you remember that moment? The horrific sight of the Blaze Talisman's flames shook you to the core. The instant Blue Moon intervened to save you. You knew you had to seize the opportunity. You grabbed Yan Li and desperately fled the scene, acutely aware that your spiritual energy was nearly depleted. Forcing another talisman now would likely push you past your limit, but Bai Zhou and Blue Moon had no intention of letting you escape. No sooner had you gained some distance than they caught up in the blink of an eye. Gritting your teeth, you prepared to use another talisman, though you knew this might be your final stand. Just then, a silvery light suddenly appeared before your eyes. The figure wore a silver robe, with jet black hair cascading like a waterfall. The eyes visible beneath the mask were so profound they made your heart tremble. You froze. It was him, the one who kept appearing in your dreams. He actually appeared before you. Your heart skipped a beat. Your gaze involuntarily followed him. He stepped in front of you, blocking the approaching Bai Zhou and Lan Yu, silver robes rippling with spiritual energy. His overwhelming aura forced them back step by step. Exchanging a glance, Lan Yu and Bai Zhou clearly realized they were no match, and hastily fled. Before you could even sigh in relief, he turned to face you, his eyes locking onto your grip on Yan Li's wrist, his brow slightly furrowed, his gaze filled with coldness. Yan Li clearly sensed something amiss too and hurriedly began to explain.
Sir,
Before he could finish speaking, he was struck by a tremendous force and sent flying, slamming hard into the wall. His neck was tightly gripped, making it difficult even to breathe. You shouted in shock.
Stop!
Rushed forward trying to pull his hand away. To your surprise, as soon as you finished speaking, he actually let go, as if compelled to obey your words, then turned and stood with his hands behind his back. Yanli fell to the ground, scrambled up in disarray, and fled, stumbling away, not forgetting to shout.
I'll come find you at the Lin residence in a few days.
Watching his flustered figure flee, you can't help but laugh out loud, turning back. That cold and noble face is still staring at you, his brows slightly furrow, and you instinctively reach out to smooth them, but you hastily withdraw your hand upon realizing your own action. Yet his gaze softens into tenderness, as if wanting to envelop you completely.
Am I dreaming?
You stared at him, pinched your own cheek, and gasped in pain.
No.
His voice was cool and deep, exactly like in the dream. Hearing this familiar voice, you inexplicably feel a sense of calm wash over you.
I'll take you home.
Before you could react, he swept you off your feet and soared through the wind. Instinctively, you wrapped your arms around his neck and nestled into his embrace, overwhelmed by a strange sense of familiarity.
Who are you?
You finally couldn't help but ask.
Night Shadow.
He lowered his eyes and answered softly. At that moment, the mystic wood turtle crawled out from your sleeve. It actually climbed up your arm onto Night Shadow's head and nestled there obediently. Watching this scene, your heart was filled with confusion. Soon, you arrived at the entrance of the Lin residence. He gently set you down, his eyes seemingly reluctant, but then turned to leave.
Why did you help me?
You can't help but ask. He stops in his tracks and turns to look at you, his eyes so deep you could almost drown in them. He gently brushes aside the long hair by your cheek and tucks it tenderly behind your ear, whispering,
It was you who called me. I've always been by your side, protecting you.
As soon as the words fell, his figure vanished into the night. You stood there in a daze, his voice echoing repeatedly in your mind. After returning to your room, you looked at the mystic wooden turtle and couldn't help but ask,
Xiao Xuanmu, why are you so close to him?
The mystic wood turtle grinned and swayed its head as it replied, Heaven's secrets must not be revealed. With a puzzled look on your face, you have no choice but to temporarily give up and go check on Xiaoyan instead. In the courtyard, Jiang Chuan is already waiting for you. After briefly asking about the auction, he takes you to see Xiaoyan. Elder King Song and Immortal Liun have both arrived, bringing Frostheart grass with them. Elder King Song is brewing the medicine, and when he sees you, he grins so wide it nearly reaches his ears.
Junior sister.
Li Yun jumped out from the corner, his eyes lighting up.
Did you dress up so formally just to come see me, junior sister?
You're momentarily speechless and can't be bothered to explain, so you change the subject to ask about Little Yin's condition. Elder Qingsong solemnly explains Little Yin's toxicity. Frostheart grass can temporarily alleviate his symptoms, but the root of the poison lies within Little Yin himself. He needs to learn to suppress the dark energy within his body. Hearing this, you secretly resolve to take him to the Spirit Herb Forest for training. Once he wakes up, you keep watch over Little Yin while members of the Lin family take turns visiting you both. One day, Song Ming enters carrying a bowl of sweet soup and finds you asleep by the bedside. He quietly sets down the soup, drapes a blanket over you, and silently exits. In your dream, you return to that familiar starry sky. The stars twinkle and shift formations, sometimes taking the shape of moon-knot rabbits, other times resembling healing butterflies. As you're engrossed in the view, that familiar figure appears once again.
Nightshade!
You blurted out. You called out his name, your voice brimming with surprise. Nightshade stood with his hands behind his back, facing away from you, then turned around upon hearing your voice. At that moment, you saw his sharp eyebrows and starry eyes, his gaze shifting, and your heart skipped a beat. It was him. The man who always appeared in your dreams. The corners of your lips curl up involuntarily, and an indescribable emotion wells up in your heart. Though he still wears that silver-white mask, you can sense the smile beneath it, his eyes now brimming with tenderness.
I've been waiting for you for a long time.
His voice was as gentle as a soothing whisper, extending his slender, well-defined hand. You lightly place your hand into his palm, immediately enveloped by warmth. Looking up at him, his deep eyes flicker with a faint glimmer. You don't let this tenderness cloud your judgment, too many questions still lingering in your mind.
Night Shadow, why do you always appear in my dreams?
You ask him. He let out a light chuckle as if he had anticipated your question all along.
Didn't I answer once? It's not that I chose you, but that you summoned me.
You froze, your face full of confusion.
What do you mean?
He gently taps your forehead with his finger, and says with certainty,
The initiative is in your hands. Only you are qualified to solve the puzzle. But there's plenty of time ahead, and I'll always be by your side.
His gaze was so determined that you were moved and nodded in agreement. But then he continued,
I don't have much time. There are more important matters at hand. Let me take you somewhere.
Before you could ask for clarification, the starlight bracelet on your wrist suddenly emitted a blinding silver light, instinctively closing your eyes. Nightshade's hand gently covers them, shielding you from the glare. When you open your eyes again, you find yourself in a pitch-black space, with a glowing portal behind you.
Is this the space of the starlight bracelet?
You asked in surprise. Night Shadow nodded.
Spatial teleportation.
Your heart is stirred. The starlight bracelet is a relic from your mother's spirit coffin. You've studied it for a long time but still couldn't access its inner space. Song Ming has also held it for over a decade without success. Yet Nightshade was able to bring you inside. His power is unfathomable, or perhaps he and your mother's spirit coffin come from the same world. You cautiously ask.
Nightshade? Do you know spirit coffin?
Don't know.
He answered resolutely. Suddenly, his expression changed as he pulled you into his arms to evade a powerful force attack. The space instantly became perilous, with countless silver blades attacking from all directions. Nightshade held you by the waist with one hand, while casting a defensive barrier with the other. You quickly channeled your spiritual energy to reinforce it. But the attacks grew increasingly dense, causing cracks in the barrier. Sensing Nightshade's unstable aura, worry surged in your heart. Overestimating yourself? A mocking voice rang out, as the barrier shattered instantly. You recall the mystic wood turtle once mentioned that there might be an artifact spirit in this bracelet. Could it be up to something? Night Shadow's aura grew increasingly chaotic. He grabbed you and urgently said,
Xiao Shuang, I'm running out of time. I'll come help you next time.
But you gritted your teeth and insisted, resolutely saying,
Nightshade, this is my bracelet! You go first!
He froze, slowly lowering the hand that held yours, gazing at you with complex emotions in his eyes. You quickly gather spiritual energy, using blood as a medium to draw the character Slew. Crimson threads fly in all directions, searching for the source of that voice. Suddenly, the blade transforms into a colossal palm that descends from the sky. The red threads struggle to block it but fail to match the speed of the attack. Struck by the palm, you cough up a mouthful of blood. Nightshade uses the last of his spiritual energy to create a protective barrier around you. Gritting your teeth, you persist and continue channeling your spiritual energy, finally pulling the artifact spirit at the other end of the red threads before you. A massive stone statue appears, roaring in anger. Overestimating yourself? A giant palm swings toward you, but you dodge swiftly, adjust your stance, and use the red thread to strangle its body, finally shattering it. Exhausted, you nearly collapse, but Night Shadow quickly catches you. Leaning on his shoulder, you raise your head proudly.
Nightshade, I did it!
The corners of his lips curled up slightly, his eyes filled with admiration.
Well, Xiao Shuang is really amazing.
But just as you were feeling triumphant, a faint rustling sound came from the pile of rubble. Your heart tightened. Could it be coming back to life? Nightshade raised his hand to eliminate the threat, but you grabbed his arm.
Nightshade, stay out of this! This bracelet is mine to conquer!
You forced out the incantation, and the Crimson Flame Dragon talisman roared forth. Just as the talisman was about to refine the rubble, the fragments pieced themselves into tiny figures, scurrying around and shouting, Spare me, Master! Spare me, Master! Exhausting your spiritual energy, your vision blurs and your legs give way as you're about to collapse. Nightshade tries to steady you, but you grab his arm instead, sending both of you tumbling down with you landing atop him. Your eyes meet, and the air suddenly grows thick with unspoken tension. Unable to resist, you reach to remove his mask, revealing his striking features that send your heart racing. Your fingers trace the contours of his brows and eyes as you whisper in admiration.
It's so beautiful!
Nightshade's face actually blushed. As you looked at him, your mind grew hazy, unable to tell whether this was a dream or reality.
Xiao Shuang, Xiao Shuang.
A familiar voice wakes you up. You suddenly open your eyes to find yourself slumped by the bed, a sharp pain in your neck. Song Ming is beside you, chattering away as he scolds you.
If you lie like this all night, no wonder you'll get a stiff neck.
You smile while listening to his chatter, then suddenly think of Xiaoyan and your heart tightens.
Xiaoyan!
Song Ming quickly comforts you.
Don't worry, Xiaoyan is already awake and playing with Ah Chen in the yard.
You quickly run to the courtyard and see little Silver bouncing around. Finally feeling relieved, you smile at him, thinking to yourself that it's time to go to the Spirit Herb Forest to level up your cultivation.
Xiaoyan, you must eat more. When we go to the Spirit Herb Forest in the coming days, we won't have Aunt Song's pampering like here. We'll have to train 10 hours a day.
Little Yan's face immediately fell, making everyone burst into laughter. Just then, a servant from the Lin residence announced, Young Master Hua from the Hua family has come to visit. You smirked mischievously.
Look! He's delivering himself right to our doorstep.
You stand at the entrance of the Lin residence, coldly observing this farce. Bai Zhou stands arrogantly at the gate, with his guard, Ah Fu. He seems to scoff at the rules of the Lin family. Ah Fu, even more unrestrained, hurls sharp and insulting words at Jiang Chuan and the Lin residents. Listening to those harsh remarks, you sneer, inwardly, secretly calculating how to teach them a lesson. As you slowly approach the entrance, Bai Zhou's gaze falls upon you, his expression complicated. You know he recognizes you, the woman who once crossed paths with him at the Yunhai Merchant Guild. You don't give him much time to think and speak directly.
So, it's the dog brought by young Master Bai that's barking wildly.
A single sentence instantly tensed the atmosphere. Ah Fu still wanted to argue, but without hesitation, you lashed out with the green vine whip, striking him hard across the face. The crisp sound echoed at the entrance of the Lin residence. Ah Fu's face immediately swelled up like a steamed bun, his mouth filled with the taste of blood. You said coldly,
Since young Master Bai won't intervene, I'll have to teach this insolent dog a lesson myself.
Another lash, and finally Bai Zhou steps in to stop you. But you stand your ground, your eyes icy cold. Bai Zhou tries to calm the situation, attempting to command you to back down. But how could you let him off so easily? You deliberately raise your voice, exposing the scandal of him splurging at the auction house while his mother's corpse was still warm. The crowd immediately erupts into an uproar, whispers and murmurs spreading like wildfire. Each word feels like a needle piercing Bai Zhou's heart. His face darkens, fury burning in his eyes. You smirk inwardly, knowing you've successfully humiliated him. You gesture please, pretending to be magnanimous as you invite him into the residence. But as he steps further into the Lin estate, the inner gates close one by one behind him. The atmosphere grows increasingly eerie. Finally sensing something amiss, he stops and asks you,
Why are the doors closed in broad daylight? What's going on?
You turn back with an icy gaze, your eyes sharp as knives.
Please, enter the womb!
You sit in the center of the room, your aura so powerful it's almost blinding. Bai Zhou looks around and realizes not a single member of the Lin family is present. He tries to confront you, but you've already anticipated his move and coldly expose his true intentions with a smirk.
Let's not beat around the bush, Bai Zhou. The most important thing you're here for today isn't to find the Lin family, but to see me, isn't it? If that's the case, why bother with the roundabout way?
Bai Zhou's expression changed as he began to look around warily, clearly afraid that the mysterious master from the ambush that night might suddenly appear. You watch his flustered state with a cold laugh and press further.
Young Master Bai tried to kill me. Did you really think this would be the end of it?
He tried to fight back, provoking you with words, even egging Ah Fu on to keep shouting, attempting to drag the Lin family into the mess. You coldly watched Ah Fu's mouth opening and closing, feeling nothing but utter disgust. Finally, you made your move, a flash of cold steel. Ah Fu's mouth instantly sprayed blood as you severed his tongue. He collapsed to his knees, clutching his mouth, unable to make a sound. Bai Zhou stumbled back in shock, roaring,
Lin Qing, you are truly vicious!
You responded with a cold laugh.
I was born vicious!
These words pierced his heart like a sharp blade. His face stiffened, eyes filled with fear and rage. You pressed forward relentlessly, exposing all his vile deeds, even mentioning his shameless act of coercing Jiang Chuan into marrying Bai Ru, a vegetative patient, by exploiting their years of friendship. Bai Zhou's expression grew increasingly grim until he finally lashed out. Spiritual energy coalesced into a strike aimed directly at you. With a slight raise of your hand, 2 fingers pointed mid-air, and the black feather eagle materialized instantly. Its massive wings enveloped you tightly before counterattacking with a powerful flap. Bai Zhou was repelled by the rebound of spiritual energy, his face immediately marked with several bleeding wounds. Before he could react, the golden leopard also appeared, baring its fangs while glaring at him fiercely. Bai Zhou attempted to belittle you with words, calling you a lowly wretch, but unfazed, you retorted coldly,
Today I'll show you who's truly the lowly one!
With a wave of your hand, the Blackwing Hawk and the Golden Leopard immediately closed in, surrounding him on all sides. Bai Zhou's expression completely changed. He knew he had kicked an iron plate today. You stood on the steps, staring coldly at him. In your heart, you silently vowed to protect the Lin family, and this hard-won warmth at all costs. You remember that day, don't you? That guy Shiraishi was really asking for trouble. He came at you aggressively with that dog Ah Fu, looking for a fight. But in the end, your spirit beast partners Blackwing Hawk and Golden Fur Leopard beat him to a pulp. You stood by watching coldly, barely holding back laughter at his pitiful state, but you knew the show wasn't over yet. Shiraishi wouldn't accept defeat, muttering about dark arts and pointing fingers at you. You countered coldly. You boast of hunting countless beasts, yet know nothing about spirit creatures.
Blackwing Hawk and Golden Mane Leopard have already formed an equal pact with me. Your inferior talismans are completely useless.
You secretly feel pleased after all. Your spirit beast partner was personally trained by the ancient divine beast, the mystic wood turtle. How could he possibly imagine this rate of growth? The golden leopard leaps up and pounces on Ah Fu, tearing off its thigh in an instant, blood gushing out. Baijiu screams in horror.
Alfred!
Yet powerless to do anything, you watch all this coldly, your tone dripping with sarcasm. Big fish eat small fish, leopards eat dogs, it's only natural.
If you can't bear to part with it, then go save it yourself.
When you felt the act had gone on long enough, you waved your hand to recall the spirit beast. Then you bound Baijiu tightly with the green vine whip, and even punched him hard. The blow left him pale and utterly disheveled. You approached him, grabbed the vine, and dragged him all the way to the southern wall of the courtyard. Without mercy, you slammed him against it. The wall let out a loud bang, and he was completely dazed, his head ringing. But you weren't done yet. You grabbed his hair and smashed his head against the wall several more times, until his vision blurred with blood, and he lost all strength to resist. You leaned in close and whispered a threat. Baijiu, listen carefully. The Lin family disapproves of Jiang Chuan and Bairu's marriage. Jiang Chuan has shown you utmost kindness. If you dare to coerce him again and attempt to drag the Lin family into this,
next time I'll make sure you die without a burial place.
With that, you bound him and Ah Fu together with green vine whips, dragging them all the way to the entrance of the Lin residence. A crowd had already gathered and you deliberately let them see Baijiu's pitiful state. Sure enough, everyone began murmuring, condemning Baijiu for his forced marriage attempt. Seizing the moment, you took out a message talisman, and vividly recounted Baijiu's misdeeds. You even feigned a wronged expression, winning the crowd's sympathy. Public opinion quickly escalated, putting the Hua and Bai families under intense scrutiny. By the time the Hua family arrived, it was already too late. Baijiu and Ah Fu were pointed at and mocked by the onlookers, forcing the Hua family to leave with them in disgrace. Watching this scene, you secretly gloated your plan had succeeded. Back at the Lin residence, Song Ming showed you great care, advising you to bring more supplies for cultivation in the spirit herb forest. He even arranged for Jiang Chuan to accompany you for protection. You respond to her concern with a coquettish smile, feeling warmth in your heart, knowing that the Lin couple has been protecting you in secret. Late at night, as you prepare to meditate and regulate your breathing, you suddenly sense an unfamiliar presence approaching outside the window. You and Xiao Yin wordlessly extinguish the candle and pretend to fall asleep. Sure enough, a shadowy figure in dark clothing sneaks in, attempting to approach you. Just as he is about to succeed, you and Xiao Yin suddenly flip over and pin him down on the bed together. When the lights come on, you finally recognize the intruder as Li Feng. You stare at him with a cold laugh.
So it's senior brother Li Feng.
To think he actually gave up resisting, spreading his hands in a do-as-you-please manner. You're somewhat stunned since when did this guy become so shameless? Xiao Yin paid no heed, raising the knife and with a crack, snapped Li Feng's legs apart. You stare at Li Feng, silently calculating his motives. At the same time, you can't help but wonder, what exactly is this guy scheming? You stand there, watching the farce unfold before your eyes with cold detachment. The fury in Lan Yao's eyes is almost palpable, ready to erupt at any moment. Yanli, however, wears the expression of an amused spectator, his lips curled in a roguish smile. You curse inwardly. This troublemaker always manages to drag you into his messes.
What's the matter, second Miss Lan? Not itching anymore?
You spoke coldly, with a hint of sarcasm in your tone. Lan Yao's face instantly darkened even more. She glared at you with gritted teeth.
Bai Shuang, don't get too cocky.
She roared with fury, spiritual energy surging in her hands, clearly preparing to attack, yet you remained calm, a cold smirk curling at the corner of your lips.
Miss Lan the second, don't forget the lesson from last time. Besides, I have no interest in competing with you for any prey. If anything, it's you who always seems to haunt my steps. You!
Lan Yao's face flushed, crimson with anger, the spiritual energy in her hands surging even more violently.
All right, stop arguing.
Yan Li suddenly interrupted, putting on the air of a mediator.
Xiao Shuang, since you don't want to compete with her, then this prey belongs to me, all right?
You let out a cold snort.
Whatever.
With that, you turned to leave, not wanting to waste any more time arguing with them. But as soon as you took a step, Lan Yue's voice came coldly from behind.
Halt!
You stop and turn back to look at him.
What? Does Blue Moon also want to spar with me?
Blue Moon didn't respond, just stared coldly at you with a trace of scrutiny and wariness in his eyes. His gaze made you slightly uncomfortable, but you suppressed the unease in your heart, and met his stare with feigned composure.
Bai Shuang, who exactly are you?
He suddenly spoke, his voice deep and icy. You froze for a moment, then smiled.
That's an interesting question, Blue Moon. Who I am surely you already know.
Stop playing dumb.
Blue Moon sneered coldly.
Your talisman techniques, your spiritual energy fluctuations, and that hairpin on you. Who exactly are you connected to?
Your heart skipped a beat, surprised that he had noticed such details, but you maintained your composure and replied calmly.
Lan Yu worries too much. I'm just an ordinary cultivator.
Ordinary?
Blue Moon snorted coldly.
An ordinary person causing a stir at an auction? Making Lanyao eat humble pie? Bai Shuang, you've got quite a few secrets.
Your heart tightens. Knowing that staying longer would only bring more danger, without another word, you immediately activate the invisibility talisman, vanishing from sight in an instant.
Trying to run?
Lan Yu sneered coldly, spiritual energy surging in her hand as if she was about to give chase.
Enough!
Yan Li suddenly stops him.
Blue Moon, are you really going to fight her? Don't forget, we have more important matters to attend to.
Lan Yu gave him a cold glance but ultimately did not pursue. By now you had already moved far beyond their sight. Yet your mind remained unsettled. Lan Yue's words left you with a trace of unease. It seemed he had already noticed something. Yan Li's attitude also put you on higher alert. This man appeared frivolous, but his mind was deep and calculating. You couldn't afford to let your guard down. You took a deep breath, forcing yourself to calm down. This was no time for wild thoughts. You had more important matters to attend to. After steadying your emotions, you quickened your pace toward the rendezvous point. When you finally reunited with Xiao Yin and Jiang Chuan, they had grown somewhat impatient from waiting. Why are you so late? Little Yin complained. We almost fell asleep waiting.
Ran into some trouble on the way.
You gave a brief explanation without elaborating further. Jiang Chuan glanced at you, seemingly sensing something was off, but he didn't press further and simply handed you a water flask.
Have some water first?
You take the water bottle, take a sip, and feel slightly calmer. Next, you still have a tough battle ahead, so you must stay focused.
Let's go.
You said to them.
We still have a lot to do.
You stood there, watching as Lan Yao trembled with rage, and Lan Yu quickly held her back, but she still refused to back down, tilting her head up and yelling at you.
Are you siding with Yan Li and trying to stand up for him?
Before you could even speak, Yan Li took the initiative and answered matter-of-factly.
Of course.
This guy is really unreliable, yet you blurted out without hesitation. No! With that, you turned and walked away, completely ignoring the astonished looks from the crowd behind you.
If the spirit beast falls into their hands, it's as good as dead.
Yan Li's voice came from behind. There was a hint of seriousness in his tone, and your heart skipped a beat. This guy really knew how to push your buttons. You halted your steps and turned to look at him, his expression now grave. Just then, a whoosh sounded as an ice spear shot straight toward you. You dodged to the side, and the ice spear grazed your shoulder before striking a nearby tree. Ice magic. Turning around, you saw Lan Yao, as expected, in a battle stance, her eyes brimming with provocation. A smirk curled your lips. You hadn't planned to fight, but since she started it, you wouldn't hold back. Second, Miss Lan? You're the one who provoked me first this time. Lan Yao didn't back down, her eyes flashing with venom and rage. Lan Yao sighed, knowing she couldn't stop her. She stepped aside but remained vigilant, her eyes scanning the surroundings warily.
Enough talk! No one else interferes! Just you and me, a real fight with all we've got!
Lan Yao stared at you confidently, clearly recognizing that you only had the peak strength of a spirit practitioner, and felt certain of her victory. That's exactly what I had in mind. You let out a cold laugh and summoned the green vine whip, its surface glimmering under the sunlight. The crowd on both sides instinctively steps back, clearing a space for you. Just as you're about to strike, Yan Li suddenly speaks up.
Wait!
Both you and Lan Yao glare at him, but he remains unruffled, fanning himself leisurely with a smirk that begs for a punch.
Let's make it clear beforehand. Whoever wins gets the spirit beast.
Upon hearing this, Lan Yu immediately shielded the spirit beast behind her, clearly unwilling to let it fall into your hands. At that moment, Xiao's voice echoed in your mind. Xiao Shuang. This Lan Yao is a great perfection spirit master. Her spiritual power surpasses yours. Do you need me to step in? No need. You decisively refused. But in the split second you were conversing with Xiao, Lan Yao seized the opportunity. With a flash she appeared right behind you. Your reaction was a beat too slow. The next moment, her frost blade slashed across your back, and blood instantly gushed out. Xiao Shuang! Xiao Lu cried out in distress, then immediately shut her mouth, realizing she had distracted you earlier, which led to you getting hit. Yanli's eyes also trembled slightly. Lin Yao looked at the wound on your back and smiled smugly.
With your meager spiritual power, you dare to block my frostblade? Fine, kneel and kowtow to apologize to me now. 3 loud kowtows, and I might forgive you and spare you some suffering.
Hearing her smug tone, you sneer inwardly while tightly gripping the green vine whip in your hand. With your other hand, you swiftly bring 2 fingers together, chanting an incantation as blood slowly seeps from the wound on your back, coalescing into droplets that hover before you. You dip your fingers in the blood and draw a spiritual talisman in the air. In mere seconds, the talisman is complete. You channel it into your body, and instantly, a silvery white light envelops you as your spiritual power surges.
How is that possible?
Lin Yao widened her eyes in utter disbelief. You sneered inwardly, gloating over the talisman Rainin secretly passed you in the chamber, never expecting it would prove useful today. With spiritual energy surging, your verdant vine whip lashed through the air relentlessly, strike after strike mercilessly landing on Lan Yao. Denying her any chance to recover, you flashed behind her and firmly clamped down on her wrists. A brutal kick sent her crashing to her knees. The outcome was decided, though completely overpowered by you. Lin Yao still struggled defiantly. You issued a cold threat. If second Miss Lan keeps moving recklessly, these pretty hands of hers won't be safe anymore. As you tightened your grip, the pain twisted her face into a grimace, finally making her stop struggling. Seeing this, Lan Yu immediately threw the spirit beast to Yanli and looked at you anxiously. You sneered, released your grip, and pushed Lan Yao into his arms.
We lost.
Lan Yu gritted her teeth in defeat, and left with Lan Yao in disgrace. Just as you were about to claim the spirit beasts, Yanli stepped forward first, pulling out medicinal herbs and talismans to heal their wounds. Exchanging a glance with Xiao Yin, you joined his efforts, and Zheng Chuan followed suit. Before long, the spirit beast's injuries were mostly healed. Yanli patted their heads and said with a smile,
Run faster next time, don't get caught again. If you encounter humans, remember to take a good look. If they're not as handsome and kind as me, run for your life.
After speaking, he sent the spirit beasts back into the depths of the spirit medicine forest. Watching this scene, Zheng Chuan sighed and said,
Never expected the young master would release the spirit beast.
Yanli turns back to look at you, wearing a smug smile.
Learned it all from Xiao Shuang.